New South Wales. At Randwick, the ratings suggesting it's Lonhro to topple. Magic Albert, Grandis are equal. Second elect, 1, 2, 3 and 6. That's the way the ratings see them. Here's the latest check of market figures. Well, interesting betting race across all of it.
Thank you. And they're moving in well for the Stan Fox Stakes. What an absorbing race we have coming up. Lonhro looks absolutely magnificent, taped on the off in the Stan Fox, and they came away in a good line, and Mark de Montfort has no hesitation in sending Grandizer straight to the lead, but Shane Treweek has other ideas on Magic Hatter, and Magic Hatter, the Musselbrook colt, put on the pace and burnt off Grandizer, leads him 2.5, and E-Horse on the inside of Grandizer, and then comes Lonhro parked and being shaded now by Magic Albert, who's wide. On the side of the track, they've got 700 left to travel. The speed is dawdling now, and Magic Hatter a length and a half on Grandizer, 3/4 to the roughy E-Horse, and then Magic Albert, he's been wide from the word go. Length and a half to Lonhro. Quinn waiting for the last crack. In fact, Lonhro went back to last, and Stylish Lass is second last. They round the corner, 400 left to go, and Grandizer, given full bore, raced up and takes the lead narrowly from Magic Hatter. On the inside, switching back as the filly Stylish Lass, Magic Albert and Lonhro. Here he comes on the outer. Here's a race past the 200. Lonhro and Magic Albert, these outstanding 3-year-old colts. They've hit the front, but Lonhro is doing better than Magic Albert. Clear a Stylish Lass, and he's a rising star. Magnificent individual, and Lonhro takes it out from Magic Albert and Stylish Lass. Then Magic Hatter, followed by E-Horse, and Grandizer dropped out and finished last. Oh, gee whiz, I tell you what, I'm wrapped in this horse, Lonhro. He could be a superstar. 2:30 and 1:30. He's a magnificent individual, and the more I think about it, Rod did not have 150 metres, and wouldn't Dad be so proud? Octagonal. Ockie won in the Stan Fox in 1995, written by Grant Cooksley, and here's the best of his progeny so far, Lonhro, and he's a dead ringer for his dad too in looks. And out of Sade, a straight strike mare, has won it brilliantly from 2 Magic Albert. He covered a lot of ground, $1.40.
If you're a first 4 punter, New South Wales, number 4, finishing in 4th position.
A pretty top liner, I think.
He looked to do it so easy in the finish too.
Yeah, well, he did. You know, they didn't run along quite as hard as I expected in the race, and I thought, oh, geez, you know, it's going to make it hard sitting back here like this. But honestly, he picked him up that easy coming to the 200. I hadn't moved on him coming to the 200, and when I did, he just put the pedal down, and that was the end of it.
If the Caulfield Guinea Lonhro is, and what an intriguing battle it will be between he and the stablemate Viscount in the Caulfield Guineas, Keith, you'd be looking forward to that?
Oh, very much so, Joe, and I think they've got the wood on the male 3-year-olds in Victoria. This is the most significant race. It's the opposite to the Metropolitan, because the Stan Fox has been won by very good horses, including this fellow, Lonhro's dad, Octagonal, General Nadeem, Kenwood Melody, Pins. So it's a significant lead-up race, and you're looking at a horse here who could win the Caulfield Guineas.
Yes, Keith, that's the fellow who was rapping North Boy just a couple of weeks ago and telling us what he was going to do to the Sydney horses. Nice to see you've changed your opinion there, Keithy.
Well, he's not out of the equation yet, North Boy.
Keith, you had your chance. Just go quietly.
Thanks a lot. 1400 the other day, didn't he?
I think I'd have to agree with Kenny, and now Keith. Now that Keith's come around to our way of thinking, that the Sydney 3-year-old colts do look a better bunch than the Melbourne 3-year-olds, but the Sydney 3-year-old fillies and the Melbourne 3-year-old fillies, I don't think there's a lot in that.
Something I want to say about Lonhro: Johnny Hawkes, Peter Snowden, Rodney Quinn, they all love this fella because he's got the same temperament as Octagonal. He's the same trier. He loves to win. And Lonhro should love them because, by golly, they've looked after him. You know, like Johnny...
5, which is Oamaru Force, 3 points clear of Pembleton. And then we go to Notoire and Progress, 5, 3, 4 and 6. Here's the market figures, then we can take a look at the runners per rating. Pitton's $8.80, Pembleton $3.30. It's $4 Super Tab. Notoire's best value is on New South Wales. Super Tab very short Oamaru Force, the David Hall train runner, no surprises there. Progress 5-3.
Sponsored by One World this year, and Bradshaw won it last year. Glenn Boss beat Guineas and Upright at John Hawkes. All set. They're off in the shorts, and again a very even dispatch, and Fair Embrace and Pembleton jumped out quickly, and so did the Palm Flyer. A length away next past the 800. Oh boy, Pembleton's really fired up, and Palm Flyer leads the favourite Pembleton a half length. 2 lengths away third is Pittons, and over on the inside of Pittons, Oamaru Force as they go past the 600, and then Fair Embrace wide out. From Zedavane Progress, National Saint is back to second last, and bringing up the rear Natois, homeward bound, and Palm Flyer leads about a neck or so on Pembleton. Oamaru Force has got a beautiful run up on the inside if he's good enough to take it, but in the meantime Larry Cassidy drives Pembleton to the front. Fair Embrace on the outside, Oamaru Force the inside. Pembleton is under siege. Oamaru Force is almost level, and then the filly Fair Embrace, but Oamaru Force put the neck in front of Pembleton, who has no answer to the Victorian. Oamaru Force a half, nearly 3/4 in front, and Oamaru Force wins the shorts. Oamaru Force beat Pembleton, and then Fair Embrace, Progress, Natois, followed by Pittons, Zedavane, and then came National Saint, and Palm Flyer disappointed and finished a conspiracy.
Awaiting Super Tab win place. In fact, there it all goes. Queensland information to come. 103.40.
I was surprised there wasn't a steward's inquiry into Palm Flyer drifting off on the home turn. I've never seen her hang out before, and it presented the race to the winner.
What are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying, you know, ask Chris why. See, it's just hung up. Oamaru Force couldn't have possibly come round them and beaten Pemberton. He's got a run through that you could have taken a Mack truck through.
Who did you back?
Who do you think I backed? I backed the bloody thing that should have bolted in, Pemberton. The winner got...
Surprise, surprise.
I'm telling the truth. I don't come here and tell fibs. Oamaru Force, I was surprised Boss wasn't trying to push out before the turn, because generally you can see Palm Flyer weak and he's going to come back on top of him. But he stayed there and took a big gamble, and wacko, it come off. So and the stewards didn't ask Chris Muntz, is there any reason why the filly hung out on the home turn?
So you want the stewards to get involved because the horse you didn't back that knocked off the horse you did back got a run on the inside?
No, I just want to know that, like, sometimes leaders hang out, other times they come back on them. Was there a reason? Was she a little bit sore? Was she getting tired? Did she just drift off?
Will it make you feel better?
Oh, of course, there's a simple explanation, but it always makes you feel better when you know there's a policeman out there making sure that everything's above board.
I think the policemen do a pretty good job.
I do too, but they can do a better job.
What did you have for breakfast today? Liver. The last, John. I think we might move on.
I think meters. It's 2 on top. Courvoisier from 1 Accelerator, Sakan Diamond and Viking Ruler. 2, 1, 4 and 7. Here's a check of the market figures. Accelerator $2.30 is the tote favourite. Courvoisier $4.60, $7.20 Evander. Sakan Diamond at $16. We go down to Viking Ruler. Interesting runner in this race, Joe, is old class. Speaking of smart, they're all smart, and one will be crowned the spring champion of the year 2001 after winning the spring champion stakes. They're starting to move into line. Ian Craig to call them.
Racing this time, and Accelerator near the inside got the best of the start. Prince of Play jumped out well, and so too did Silk Vale. Then Secandamon, closely attended by Viking Ruler, a couple of lengths Courvoisier. To Secandamon, a length and a half to Viking Ruler. At its quarters on the outside is, at this stage, Silver Baron, one of the greys. Another grey is next, the favourite Courvoisier. Evander on his outside, and 2 lengths to Pure Speed. They're bunching a little now as they work their way down the side of the track, and Silk Vale in front, but here comes on the outside Secandamon and Accelerator. Prince of Players there, a line of 4 by the 600. A length and a half to Viking Ruler, who's tracked nicely. Silver Baron, he's outside. Courvoisier's hopeful of getting a lovely run up on the inside, but there's nothing there at the moment. Evander second last, and Pure Speed is last. Around the corner in the Spring Champion Stakes, and Prince of Play and Secandamon from Viking Ruler. And here's Courvoisier getting a needle-eye run. They go to the 200, and Viking Ruler, the $1.5 million purchase as a yearling. He raced away. Forget Courvoisier. Viking Ruler, 3 Secandamon, Evander, Prince of Play and Silver Baron, but Viking Ruler, he blitzes them. Viking Ruler wins it from a very, very tight finish between Evander and Silver Baron. Then Secandamon, followed by Prince of Play, Pure Speed. Courvoisier, second last, Silk Vale, and Accelerator finished at the tail of the field.
Viking Ruler for Clary Connors and Lenny Beasley. A horse purchased as a yearling for $1.5 million. A Danehill colt out of the Oaks winner Tristalove, collecting the cash. Well,
it's been pressure from day one because he's such a, such a dear horse, an expensive horse. I've told everybody I love the horse. I think he's a super horse.
You love him as a type. He's a real classic thoroughbred type, isn't he?
Yeah, just everything. The horse has just got everything going for him. You know, he just do anything. You know, he's a great horse. And I told the owners here a month ago, I want to take him to France for the Ark. Because, you know, they said, well, he's a maiden. You can't take a maiden. I said, well, he won't be a maiden by the time we take him. But I just think he's a super horse. And, you know, today...
He sure hasn't, and this horse looks to be capable of taking even more. The Danehill Colt's successful.
Lenny, gee, you showed a nice turn of foot today.
Yeah, Joe, he was never going to get beat, you know. It was just a matter of getting a luck at the top of the straight, and I got it, and he accelerated really well.
Is the sky the limit now for Viking Ruler?
Oh, he's a very nice horse. He's going to go on and do bigger and better things.
From a derby point, not a bad few weeks for you either.
It's been fantastic.
Good on you, Clary. I hope you stood well clear of it when it came back to scale.
He's a bit naughty, isn't he?
Well, I just saw pictures then of the horse being led back in. I wouldn't let the owners lead that horse back in. I'm serious. I think one of the owners there was standing on the offside of the horse, was at perfect length to get full stretch kicked by the horse. And I don't think I'd be allowing too many owners to lead him in.
Out at Evander here, and that's a fair effort for a horse to do that. I'm pulling up after a big run like that.
Absolutely.
He tried to kick 3 horses on the way to the barrier, you know, but he's with a good horseman with Clary Connors. Clary will get him going correctly, and I take my hat off to Clary. It's a big pressure point to have $1 million table and get him going. Clary's got that horse going. Look, Kavossia went disgracefully.
Yeah, I think, though, yesterday, Kenny, before the race, he looked like he'd gone over the top. He looked really light, tucked up.
This is supposed to be the race he was set for. Accelerator is gone. He's going for a spell on Monday. He went no good. But all that aside, the way this horse sprinted, the way this horse stretched out, it's only his 4th or 5th start. You know, you'd be surprised if this horse is not pretty good. If Clary can keep his mind on the job through till next autumn, this horse is going to be pretty special.
Evander grinding away there, Kenny?
Yeah, Evander is a good plugger. Like
handicapper.
Yeah, I think you said to your credit, Richard, I think you said that even when he ran in the Group 1 races in Brisbane.
Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that.
I remember that.
Did say I thought he was.
He's been proven right.
Did say I thought he was a handicapper and
did indeed
raced like a handicapper. He'll win a good handicap race.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I ask you this question?
Figures for you, and the favourite, well, Dress Circle, just holds sway with tote betting. It's 11, 10, 5 and 1. The ratings suggesting that the first 3 across the line will be Gay Waterhouse trained runners. Henderson Bay's 770 longer odds Super Tab. Money Agincourt Express on the tote with that hefty wind pool. Mulan Princess Tens and Firm. From Bruce Marsh, who puts the polish on number 3 City Habit. As soon as we can, we'll be linking up with him.
Now, 2,400 metres the distance of the Group 1 Metropolitan Handicap. It's worth overall $550,000. They're racing. Curator Storm didn't jump all that quickly, and the same for Danyon. Dress Circle was out well with Mulan Princess and a repeater. Swiss Echo's not far back, and then Ebony Honor, followed by Henderson Bay. Then Consolidator, Agincourt Express, a horse off the fence. Waka the Victorian is locked away. Second last Tabaran, and last of all is Curator Storm. They're on the side of the course, past the 700, and Mulan Princess in front by 2.5. Dress Circle getting closer to the leader. About 3 lengths then to Swiss Echo, followed by Henderson Bay, Repeater, Ebony Honor, Ills, Agincourt Express, City Habit, Danyon, Homewrecker, Tabaran, Consolidator and Curator Storm. Dress Circle, Little Lenny Beasley aboard, cantered to the lead on straightening up, and Dress Circle put 2 lengths, Mulan Princess, Agincourt Express and Danyon are coming right down the outside, actually in the middle. Danyon and Agincourt Express is labouring. Danyon's the danger to Dress Circle. Dress Circle still in front on the outside. Danyon can't get the Waterhouse horse. It's Dress Circle. Here's another big one for Little Lenny Beasley, and another big one, and another Metrop for Gay. Dress Circle has beaten Danyon in 3rd spot, Homewrecker, then Ills, followed home by Tabaran, Curator Storm, Consolidator, Swiss Echo, Mulan Princess, City Habit, and then came Henderson Bay, followed in by Repeater, Ebony Honor and Agincourt Express, near enough to the tail of the field.
Run, I thought he's going to win this race, but you never like to say it. But yeah, coming into the straight, you know.
Well, Lenny, 2 Group 1 victories in under an hour. It must be like a dream.
You go too early, but the leader stopped, and I just found myself in front, so I said to myself, I just got to go. And probably the last 20 yards he was walking, and you know, I was just hoping that he held on, and that's what happened. He held on.
Could you sense Daniel coming down the outside?
Yes, I could, and I think the horse could too. And you know, I'm sure the horse, you know, really put his ears back and fought it out and really tried his best the last bit.
Yesterday for the Melbourne Cup, he's had a few little niggling problems. He's still very immature. I'll probably spell him and bring him back for the autumn. Definitely a Sydney Cup horse, and might even be an Australian Cup if he kept improving.
Now, how will you
handle the inside track? And several of his rivals yesterday didn't handle the inside track.
Let's hear from the beat, Chris Muntz. Keith, Homewrecker ran a nice race in that.
Yes, he did, Shadow, but he's nothing special, to be honest, Homewrecker. And also, to be honest, I think this Metrop now has become a race that's nothing special. I don't know how it clings on to its Group 1 status. Its list of recent winners is totally forgettable. It's been quite a while since a good horse has won the Metrop. $550,000 is the person. I just wonder whether it should be taken under the microscope to see whether it's worth it these days.
Interesting point, Keith. What do you
he's stealing a bit of thunder for my comment later in the day. I just looked there listening to the beaten jockeys. Glenn Boss saying, you know, is the track to blame for Agincourt Express? Glenn was wrapping the track during the week, so I'll have to eat humble pie. That was in a track gallop. Look, why are we going to have a track that's going to favour specialists? You know, that just worries me. Whose advice did they take to build a different type of track, a Strathayr track, when every other track in New South Wales is a grass track? You know, I just don't know.
Well, one question I'd like to ask. Strathayr track is basically a sand track. Right? Isn't Randwick built on sand?
Exactly right. It's on the Sydney Sandbelt.
Interesting.
All right. We'll take a break, and we will.
Mounting yard for the third of our Group 1s, the Epsom Handicap. And here they come, and shortly we'll be able to take a look at them. Nanny Maroon tops the ratings. Wow, the hometown will go wild if she's successful. Nanny Maroon for a pet. They're beginning to parade, so the line-up is taking shape. Wayne Harris will join us to talk us through each of the runners. Crawl at $21, $9.80 Diamond Dane, $7.50 for Nanny Maroon. They'll go wild if it's successful. And she's right in the betting figures as we take a look at the Winfield Swell Pass, $1.3 million. Ian Craig for the memorable call of a time-honoured race.
70 and Nanny Maroon's met with good support, 780 and 270. Right, now as far as the on-track activities are concerned here for the Epsom Handicap, Century Kid is the favourite. The second pick is Spinning Hill. She's tightened up a little only in the last 3 or 4 minutes, Spinning Hill. And Nanny Maroon is running as the third pick. And then we've got 4 to come in, Century Kid, Kingsgate, Final Fantasy and racing in the Epsom. And a great start it was too. Kingsgate wide out, jumped as well as anything. Diamond Dane and Georgie Boy with Fawadia right there, and Century Kid up hustling for the lead and settling down. It's Diamond Dane, Century Kid, Fawadi. A length there on Georgie Boy, Kingsgate, Phoenix Park, and then on Type. Little more than a length's gap in the field into Spinning Hill, followed by Pia. And the favourite Century Kid at the 800 holds out Fawadia half length, a length and a half to Georgie Boy on the outside of Diamond Dane. 2 lengths further back in the field is Kingsgate, his stablemate the inside Phoenix Park, and 2 lengths to another Waterhouse Rep on Type. Spinning Hill midfield and entrenched. Then Final Fantasy, 2 lengths to higher. Belle de Jour, Piavonic, Nanny Maroon is second last and whipping the field in Crawl. Homeward bound to the Epsom, and Century Kid leads narrowly from Fawadi. Diamond Dane third, then Georgie Boy. Phoenix Park trying to go up on the rails, on Type joining in, and right down the outside is Final Fantasy. Here's a go with on Type hitting the front. Final Fantasy out under the arches, followed by Kingsgate and then Crawl and Nanny Maroon, but it's Final Fantasy getting the upper hand. Final Fantasy racing away, and Final Fantasy wins the Epsom from Kingsgate. Crawl wide out, higher not far away with On Type, and then Belle de Jour, Nanny Maroon, Diamond Dane, Century Kid, further away Spinning Hill, Fawadi, Phoenix Park, Georgie Boy, and Piavonic has pulled up at the tail of the field.
Final Fantasy, Mark de Montfort, Bruce Cross, boil-over result in the Epsom Handicap, defying Kingsgate, $5.
Moment in racing so far.
Yeah, I'd have to say, John, yeah.
You know, when this horse won the Royal Palmer at Rose Hill during the Golden Slipper Carnival, he looked classy enough then to win a race like this, didn't he?
Yeah, and he broke Manicato's track record that day, so it was a pretty good lead-in, wasn't it?
He'd won a Villiers here, of course, but on the main track over a longer trip.
Yeah. Look, I've got to pay tribute to Mark de Montfort, brilliant ride, and Malcolm Chung, wonderful owner. It's one of those days that your little trainers dream of, and today it's happened. So for everyone with 3 or 4 horses in work, you know, you just got to hang in there. Some days it happens, John.
Bruce, I believe he's been a very slow...
Some days it happens, John.
Bruce, I believe he's been a very slow...
He's just been a horse we've nursed all his life, and today it's happened.
Well, you're pretty emotional and understand.
6-year-old by the unfashionable sire Chime Square, but nonetheless successful one out of a Twig Moss mare, 7th career win at 33rd career start. As he
2 great extremes yesterday, Graham. We saw Viking Ruler also winning. He was a $1.5 million purchase, and then you see Final Fantasy winning the Group 1 Epsom Handicap, a horse that's by a sire that stands for some $1,000. So anyone can have a go, Kenny.
They sure can. I think the thing about the Epsom, usually in big Group 1 races, there's a lot of hard luck stories. I think Final Fantasy was just too good. Phoenix Park had his momentum checked in the home straight. I don't think he'd have won anyway. He may have finished 3rd or 4th. I just think Final Fantasy was too good. Phoenix Park's on the rails behind the leader here. Century Kid is leading, and Darren Beedman puts Phoenix Park. He goes for an inside run here, and all of a sudden Century Kid rolls back. Darren has to check and then come around him. But Phoenix Park, unfortunately, has got a weakness in him, and I don't think he would have been able to withstand the horses down the outside. When a trainer with 2 or 3 horses like Bruce Cross wins a big race, people think, oh, lucky mug. But look, I class myself as a friend of Bruce's, and I don't want to sound too biased, but this bloke really can train. He's only ever had a couple of horses. He knows every trick of the trade. He's a shy, quiet, modest bloke. He's not a bloke that big owners flock to, but he can train horses. Every horse he's had, if it can win at Cowra, it goes to Cowra. If it can win at Kembla, it goes to Kembla. I truly don't know of a trainer I'd rather give a horse to than Bruce Cross, and it's a mark of the man.
By the way, Bart Cummings in the flight stakes. This filly is by Barathea. She's won only 1 from 10 so far, but she does seem to be improved.
Yes, just commenting, Matt, that Hosanna's been the only one back with any sort of confidence to beat Ha Ha here. Much will, of course, depend on the speed of the race. If it's a trot and canter, it's certainly going to fall into the corner of Ha Ha. Anyway, time will tell. Of course, she came back from a spell. And Vita easily got the best of the start. Faith Hill is going up quickly, and so is Ha Ha looking for the lead and getting there narrowly. Grandura's 4th, a length and a half to Hosanna, 3/4 to Barrowin, followed by Lady Ha Ha is kept on us now by Vita. Ha Ha 3/4 Vita as they work their way to the side, and 3rd Grandura. Faith Hill is 1 out, 1 back next. Barrowin on the inside at Hosanna, 2.5 to Lady K. Angora's on her inside and a couple of lengths to Moon Flute. This is the order as they come down by the 700 and a Ha Ha, a half length clear. On Vita, a couple to Grandura, 1.5 to Faith Hill, niggled at. Hosanna improving her position. Barrowin is locked away from Lady K, endeavouring to follow Hosanna forward. Angora second last, and Moon Flute last as they pack. Coming to the corner, 450 to travel, and Ha Ha in front narrowly from Vita. Here's Hosanna joining in very quickly, and then Lady K and Grandura. Ha Ha put under a real test today. Hosanna is trying to bridge the gap, but Ha Ha accelerated. Moon Flute from a mile back. It's Ha Ha at the 100, a length on Moon Flute, and then Hosanna, but Ha Ha is pulling out enough. She's a great filly. Ha Ha lands the flight stakes from Moon Flute and Hosanna, and then came Grandura. Barrowin got home nicely from Lady K, Angora, Vita, and last of all, Faith Hill. Too good for them. She's got that touch of acceleration, and she wasn't given an easy run. Vita kept out of 60 was the exacta, and 69.40 the trifecta. The winner trained by Gay Waterhouse for the Strawberry Hill Stud Syndicate, John and Julie. Right, thank you, Chris. And the horses are about to be called in, 1550 metres. Having trouble getting DeCanny in. Oh, not a good sign. DeCanny, the tote favourite, $3.
Viscount is the easing favourite on track. Second horse in the line of betting on track is Dash for Cash, with a little bit of support there for that horse. Moving in for the Bill Stud Stakes 2001 version, let's go to Greg Miles.
And Viscount was one of the first to bounce out. Away quickly too is Seranabar, bluing the blues. Just behind them, Counter Agent at the early part. Circumnavigating going up wider out. Amalfi's dropped in behind, and it's Viscount the leader. Round that turn in front of Counter Agent. Circumnavigating holding third in the centre, bluing the blues the rail. Seranabar only 3 lengths away from the leading horse in a bunching field up the side, and then Amalfi and Dash for Cash. Viscount the leader. He's narrowly in front of Counter Agent, and Circumnavigating now hard ridden in third place. Leader travelling as well as anything. Back behind them then, taking off is Seranabar with his run now, and around them from the tail of the field, making his runners Dash for Cash, but it's Viscount in front. Viscount around the turn, live at a length and a half here, running on Dash for Cash, Seranabar, but Viscount led. Viscount by 2 lengths to Seranabar, Dash for Cash, and then came Amalfi. It's Viscount well clear though, he's 3 lengths in front, and the Sydney Colt is holding them out. Dash for Cash comes home well, but Viscount and Karen McAvoy win the bill start. Dash for Cash second, Amalfi third, and then came Seranabar. A break to Circumnavigating. To the tail end of the field was Bluing the Blues, and a long last in it is Counter Agent. All too good.
5, Craig West has had no luck in his last couple of runs from box 5. He's drawn the same pin.
Apparently there was considerable controversy surrounding that victory by Viscount. Can you fill us in?
Yes, indeed, Shadow. Viscount was super on the track, but that had its sequel. And that led to a situation at Flemington yesterday where our chief stipendiary steward, Des Gleeson, imposed the biggest ever fine that he's delivered for a charge of giving misleading evidence. He fined prominent trainer John Hawkes $7,500 and his son Wayne $1,500. Let's grab these comments from Des Gleeson to outline the sequence of events that happened before and after the running of the Stud Stakes won by Viscount.
The stewards inquired into the circumstances surrounding Viscount trialling at Moonee Valley last Sunday. We did take evidence from Wayne Hawkes, who's the assistant trainer for Mr John Hawkes and in charge of the operations here in Melbourne, and Mr John Hawkes. And we also took evidence from Fred Fox, who's the racing manager at Moonee Valley. Now, Wayne Hawkes was found guilty of a charge of conduct prejudicial to the image and interest of racing, in that he made a false statement on Sky Channel, in fact, last Thursday night prior to the running of the Bill Stud Stakes, when asked if Viscount had worked at Moonee Valley, and he said the horse hadn't, and it had been at the Altona Beach on that day.
And we're joined by Wayne Hawkes representing his father with the favourite we're seeing on track here, Viscount. First time Strathair, apart from a little quiet visit here on Sunday morning, we've been told. Wasn't here for a serious gallop though, Wayne.
Well, he was at the beach Sunday morning.
I got told he was here just having a bit of a look around.
Well, he was at the Altona Beach Sunday morning. I can vouch for it.
All right. Well, my mail's wrong.
And Wayne Hawkes was fined $1,500. And Mr John Hawkes was found guilty of a charge of making a false statements to the stewards yesterday in respect of whether Viscount had worked at Moonee Valley on the Sunday. He said it hadn't, and in fact the horse that had worked there was Lonro. And for those charges, having been found guilty, Mr John Hawkes was fined a sum of $7,500. And now both gentlemen do have...
Well, it's a strange situation, isn't it? I'm still trying to grasp the normality of it. I think it stems from a situation where the Moonee Valley Racing Club, in an effort to help trainers, have offered use of the Moonee Valley track to Cox Plate contenders. But they've said, keep it quiet. We don't want to be flooded with requests for gallops here. And I think the flow on from that was that the trainers, trying to honour that commitment to Moonee Valley, have told what we term in racing pork pies. Well, pork pies have been told to the media since Ben Hur said he couldn't win at the Coliseum. That's one thing. But to compound that by telling a pork pie to a stipendiary steward is a more serious situation. And that's what the Hawks didn't know, and we were told pork pies. The follow-up is that Wayne Hawkes now has promised never ever again to speak with the media. He has told the Sydney Morning Herald representative that he will stop his column as from now in the Sydney Morning Herald. I hope, John, that John Hawkes, I may have said Wayne, I hope, John Hawkes, that was a heat of the moment thing, because you've been admired by your availability to the media, and if that was to end, I think there would be two losers, the media, of course, and you.
Yeah, he's actually weekly. It is superb reading.
Malagra Miss are the joint top raters with True Jewels at big odds, $12. Hot Beat at 97 and Vickers also 97. Now here's the market with a big field. Number 1, True Jewels, $12. 2, Malagra Miss at $8.30 and number 3, Wanmo, $20. 4, Hasty Back is $8 at $4.40. Number 10, Frangelica is $15. Ugachaka, $4.90. Magical Miss, $18. And Scratch, $17. Chaka, $4.50 favourite. You heard Lee Friedman say she's had no luck whatsoever at her 3 previous starts. Good betting on course for Hasty Back. Good support for the 4.
They're off. Ugachaka jump reasonably on the inside. Wanmo away fast. Liberty Rose jumped very quickly looking for a front-running roll. Hasty Back jumped out of the stalls quickly from an outside barrier, and so did Vickers as they settle into stride now. And Pele led. Hasty Back's ahead away second. A length and a half away. Lilo Lil running third on the outside of Liberty Rose. They're closely followed a length and a half back then by Peladama, wide around the outside of Vickers and Ugachaka. Next, True Jewels, Malagra Miss deep out from edging out. Frangelica's off the track. Special Grain starting a run. They're followed by Hot Beat, Magical Miss, Wanmo and Tally Thunder last as they come around the turn. Pele a narrow leader from Hasty Back as they swing the corner. Lilo Lil is third, and they're followed by Liberty Rose searching for a way clear as Peladama starts a run deeper. Just behind them, edging out's got up along the inside, and wider out, Ugachaka's got herself into the clear, and she's starting to come home well, and True Jewels looks for an out. 300 metres left to go now. Ugachaka swept up on the outside to tackle Hasty Back. Lilo Lil, Liberty Rose got a run on the inside. Here's Magical Miss coming home from the back, and Hot Beat, but Ugachaka took the lead. Ugachaka narrowly from Lilo Lil, and Magical Miss on the outside, but Ugachaka's clear, and the blinkers have done wonders. Ugachaka by 3 lengths to Lilo Lil. Hot Beat burst through, and a photo with Magical Miss for the minor end. Liberty Rose close up on the rails, and Tully Thunder came home well out wider. They were followed by Wanmo and then True Jewels, Frangelica, Peladama. Next edging out, followed by Hasty Back and Special Grange. Well back in the field is Malagra Miss, Pele tiring badly, and Vickers is last in.
The gear change, Lee, has it helped?
Oh, there's no doubt. Like, we've been considering it for a couple of runs, and I know a few people have jumped off, but this is the best filly we've got in training, and we've had for a couple of years. So a few people didn't give up on it, like Alf Matthews.
No, Alf had, can I give yourself up, Alf? He had a bit of a quid on it today too, the Ugachaka.
Well, it's his shout.
It is. Just a few have dropped off.
Yeah.
Obviously you didn't.
Yeah, no, look, she hadn't had much luck all the way through this time in. And we saw, I think I said 2 or 3 runs back, I was just looking forward to when she got to Flemington in a mile, and that's today.
Yeah. You're taking on Ha, as you mentioned. You're pretty confident about taking her on?
Oh, well, I've got to be, you know. I think she's proved she's the best here today under the set weights over the mile. And the thing that may play in her favour, if there's some rain around, she'll handle it really well, and you know, maybe Ha won't. But it'll be a good contest.
Good luck, Lee.
Appreciate it.
Lee's talking up.
Is Sydney's best, and maybe the best 3-year-old in Australia. They're going to meet in the 1,000 Guineas. Lee's giving his filly a chance against Ha, but he admitted to having a couple of drinks. Ollie hadn't been drinking. I don't know what his excuse was. Ha will beat this filly, Ugachaka, to my mind.
Oh, lot to look for.
Yeah, it was a great tough effort.
You spotted one in that, Ron?
I'm a bit of a rap for Magical Miss, Graham. The Danehill filly of Bart Cummings's. I think she's a dark horse against some of these better performed fillies in these coming races, and I'd keep a close eye on her. Bar to be setting her for one of these good races.
She was close up with the minor places, wasn't she? Just nutted for
She
third,
was charging
actually.
here, but I think the run just give out. She did draw 18 and had to come right down the outside from last, where the winner's just got all the breaks from a good draw. So, considering that, I wouldn't completely rule her out. The third filly did an amazing job as well, Hot Beat.
Yeah.
It was a terrific effort by her. And one may run a little bit better, indicating she may get better as the races get longer.
I noticed that she was getting on the heels.
Yep. Now, Flemington, Turnbull Stakes, top rater Sunline, ahead of Primrose Sands, Inner Flurry, and Universal Prince. 11, Freemason, 61, Pastor Express, 96, Universal Prince, 690, Big Pat, 31, Sunline, $1.90, Inner Flurry, 14. Hit the Roof, 18. Carpstad Way, 17. Sir Clive, 36. Sale of Century, 43. Primrose Sands, He won't fancy the moisture in the ground at $16. Hit the Roof 17, Primrose.
And the last to join them in the line is Big Pat on the outside, so the field is locked away for the 4 and 20 Turnbull Stakes. They're ready. Amber lights flashing and they're off and racing. And Sunline jumped away well with them on the outside. Hit the Roof. Primrose Sands is going forward and Sunline is hustling forward on the outside now. Followed closely by Tyroline and In a Flurry, but Sunline has raced to the lead for the first time in this preparation. She's out in her favoured role, Sunline. More than 2 lengths away is Universal Prince, must be 20 lengths from the leader, and back behind him is Freemason, Sail of Century and Pastor Express at the 900, and Sunline has broken the field up. She's out by about 5 lengths now to Primrose Sands, and the same margin away third Tyroline. Big Pat's off the track, followed by In a Flurry, Hit the Roof, Sir Clive, and then Carpstead Way. As they swept to the corner, next was Rum, Sky Heights over on the rails, and then Universal Prince, Freemason. There's Sunline's leaders come back to them. Next, Sail of Century and Pastor Express. They're swinging around the turn now, and it's Sunline. She's out by about 3 lengths. Primrose Sands In a Flurry. Big Pat pulled out. Tyroline sneaking through with Hit the Roof on the inside. And pulled out wide as Universal Prince to make his run. Sir Clive is ahead of him. Sunline led Primrose Sands coming towards the 300 metres and then Hit the Roof. Carpstead Way, Tyroline battling away. They've got to the 200. It's Sunline still by about 2 lengths to Primrose Sands. Carpstead Way, Universal Prince is making plenty of ground on the outside, but the great mare is clear. Sunline, Universal Prince chases her home. Sunline, the Queen is back. Sunline beat Universal Prince. Photo third. Primrose Sands or Carpstead Way, and they were trailed by Hit the Roof, and close up was Sky Heights, Sail of Century, followed then by Tyroline, and then came In a Flurry, Pastor Express, Freemason, Sir Clive, Rum and Big Pat.
Well, she takes her prize earnings to $8.4 million plus, and she's run 2:03.9 on a dead track, which has had a few showers for this 2,000 metre test. The Turnbull Stakes, number 12, Andrew Bensley, is about to link up with Thane Green, one of the part owners. Congratulations. What a great result.
Well done to you, Thane.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, very good.
That was the real one.
Yeah, well, she's only 95% fit, so the bookies might change their mind a bit, might they?
Yeah, they might on that. She got away with it there mid-race. How did you feel, Thane?
No, that's how he said, take it easy, just sit up at the front and see how they're going, and looks like he gave her a bit of a breather on the turn, and I mean, you know, she's set for the Cox, and that's just a bonus on the way through.
Well, coming to
no doubt the run of the race is Universal Prince, because bearing in mind what Bea was saying and what I indicated this morning, with the rail being out 15 metres, back in today, it was still out in the worst ground when it had to try and sprint. It did all the tough work getting there and then still battle on very, very well. It is on target, there's no question about that. And you'll see here how wide it is. See, it's only got 7 metres to work with from the rail. Now you see Justin let him run in, but it's all too late. The horse
with the trainer.
Yeah, Trevor McKee's here with us, waiting for the horse to return. Trevor, we can get a quick word with you. How about that, mate?
No, that was terrific. That's what come here for, and all you fellas have been knocking hell out of her. So at least you saw today what she can do.
She really ran along a little bit. I'll walk out with you, Trevor. Is that all right?
No, sorry.
Okay. No, I don't think he's too keen to talk today. I think he might have been maybe a little bit annoyed by a few of the knockers. Thane, can I ask you whether he's been upset with it?
Yeah, he is. There's been a lot of knockers, and also we had difficulty getting in here today, so we're not that heavy.
Difficulty? What do you mean getting in? Tickets.
Getting into the fight.
Got to get tickets to get in. All right. Well, she was the Sunline of old again today.
Yes. Trainer Trevor McKees knows exactly what he's doing, and he wants to win the Cox Plate for a third time. She's right on target. When she got beat in the Fen, a lot of people were starting to jump off her, but no need, because she's as good as last year. She's just taken a bit longer to get to peak fitness. The Fen did a tremendous job, and that improved her in leaps and bounds. She's right on target watching that race today, where she over-raced in the middle stages, but still able to hold them off.
You gave her a breather sort of coming to the home turn there?
I did. She just pulled very hard. She hadn't raced for 3 weeks, and she was just a bit fresh and above herself, but she had a good hard hit out today. 3 weeks next to the Cox Plate, but she'll be fitter, and she'll go to the Valley, probably breakfast with the stars, and have a workout there like last year, and she'll be 110% come Cox Plate day, and there'll be no excuse.
Some of the criticism that had been, well, not criticism, but some of the faults or reasons being put forward for Sunline's recent defeats had irked him more than somewhat of late, and I think he let it spill out yesterday.
Very unlike Trevor McKee.
It's a recurring thing. I mean, he's going exceptionally well. But, you know, he's a horse in the sense he's a natural star, he's a back marker, and that's the way you've got to ride him, regardless whether it's, you know, 7 furlongs a mile or a mile and a half. That's the way he likes to be ridden. That's the way he goes best. So, you know, that's still a little bit of your disadvantage today in the going. I mean, he accelerates on all types of going, but on top of the ground he sustains it and his acceleration is better. But he's raced well again. It's still frustrating getting beat all the time, but the horses that are finishing in front of him the last...
He was laying in bad, and I think Justin sort of let him wandering because he was accelerating. But the last little bit, he might have tried to straighten him. You see him running in here under pressure. And, like, Justin's letting him do it because he's clear of the rest of the field. But just here is a bit of a concern. He seems to lose his back feet and screws up. Hopefully he's in order this morning, you know. That could be a little bit of a problem there.
Might need the chiropractor.
Hula Wonder 90 and Miss Power Bird 90. Here's the market. Dynamic Love 39, Tickle My 13, Lady Marion 890, Arabia 22, Noir Sur 48, Hula Wonder 11, Rain Dance Lady 21, Super Sequel $12. Romano Star 27, Sorrento 46, Shelbourne Lass 16, Scratch 12, Miss Power Bird 770, 14 is out, Calm Smites 350. Aaron McAvoy's mount at $11. 638,000 in the win pool. Now they're right on start time as we go over the page, and now we get a couple of well-fancied ones. Miss Power Bird 670, Calm Smites are $3, Life is Beautiful at $8.20. If looks count...
Tickle My is about to join them in the stalls. Shelbourne Lass awaits a turn. There's Romano Star going in. They're off. And Spy Stole dropped out at the start with Rain Dance Lady and Arabia, and Life is Beautiful began very fast, is joined and headed by Lady Marion, who found the lead, and then Dynamic Love up third, the outside. Shelbourne Lass improving deep on the course to get to see her. Hula Wonder Sorrento, a couple of lengths away, Rain Dance Lady and Arabia, and back at the tail of the field as they came up the side is Tickle My. They've gone fast. Lady Marion and Shelbourne Lass has joined her the outside. 2 lengths Dynamic Love, who's holding third, coming around the home turn. Closely followed by Romano Star and then KMS. Life is Beautiful. Couple of lengths away on the inside, being trailed by Spy Stole, Miss Power Bird, and then Calm Smites. Hula Wonder's pulled out, followed then by Arabia as they swing around the turn. Lady Marion from Shelbourne Lass, KMS. Dynamic Lovers next, and Life is Beautiful getting a run on the inside. Calm Smites has called on for her finishing burst down the outside. Rain Dance Lady in trouble back in the field. KMS the leader, but Calm Smites under the whip starting to close on her, and then Dynamic Love and Hula Wonder coming in. Tickle My from last. KMS in front. Calm Smites are trying hard. Hula Wonder's claiming them, and Tickle My swapping them on the outside. Hula Wonder, Tickle My, Tickle My. Tickle My beat Hula Wonder and Calm Smites. Then Sorrento, KMS, followed by Spy Stole. Behind them Miss Power Bird, followed by Arabia, and then Super Sequel. Life is Beautiful, Romano Star, followed further back in the field by Lady Marion, and then Dynamic Love. Rain Dance Lady met some trouble up the straight. Noircy is well back, and Shelbourne Lass dropped out to finish last of all.
Well, it's fantastic. Yeah. Gee, she's a great mare, isn't she? She's a terrific mare, mate. Yeah. A really good mare. Yeah, she done. You know, the race was too short, as you know, and that's why Damien jumped off. But as I said to Sparrow Tuesday morning, you know, that's my job to get her right for the 14. I said, you just work her this way, and he did. I said, now you ride her the right way, and she'll give you a hell of a ride. So.
She got a long way back. Pace was on, but really sprint the last 250 or 300 metres.
Yeah, she's got that lovely turn of foot, you know, which is what she needed. Yeah. So.
Sorrento, KMS.
What a terrific run by Sorrento in the race. Found plenty of dead ends.
She certainly did. She can be a bit like that. I think I got a page full of black books for Sorrento, but take nothing away from the winner. What a marvellous mare she is, and you know, second, Hula Wonder tried hard, and Rain Dance Lady didn't have much room in the black with the red hat there on the fence the last little bit. She goes to the line unextended as well.
Highlighting Sorrento there in the lime green colours with the blue sleeves, the chestnut with the white blaze going
when she does get out, she accelerates, so that's, yeah, could have been unlucky.
I think you're right, Ron. You can't take anything from the winner either, can you?
No.
No,
pretty good.
Not at all. Keith?
Yes, the winner, Tickle Mine, she's a good mare. She'll be back at Flemington on Derby Day for the Hardy brothers. And like Joe and Ron, I spotted the run of Sorrento. Thought, there's a next start winner. Checked its name, oops, it's Sorrento. As Ronnie said, she's done it a few times. She was 30 to 1 yesterday. Look up.
Good run. And in race 9, you're riding Citrus Prince.
Hit the line really hard first up at Sandown the other day, and it was a good effort, and should continue on. Cliff said she's trained on well, so should be a chance.
Quickly, in a flurry.
Champagne out of that. There's Gold Class going in the yellow with the dark blue spots and the yellow cap. Sedation moving forward now. A Group 3, the Gilgai Stakes of 1,200 metres, and this will be a terrific sprint race. Let's go to Greg Miles at Flemington.
We need 3 to move in. Gold Class the top pick. Light drizzling rain still falling here, and that looks to be it. They're off. Gold Class began well. Travis Gay reasonably out. Look for a Star was away very fast. Roxar's going out quickly too on this outside rail. City Shy easing over their heels, all coming grandstand side, and Umrum has settled a fair way back now. Pace from Ruthless Tycoon coming up the middle of the track. As they head towards the 800, he's cut right across the field. Ruth being followed closely by Bomber Bill. In behind them is Travis Gay, followed by Sedation, and further back is Belle de Jour, followed by Point Danger close to the middle of the course. Umrum is in that bunch. Well back in the field is City Shy. West Express amongst the tail. Anderson Thong Classic has worked his way down the middle of the course. They're heading to the 300 metre now. Slipstream took the lead narrowly. Gold Class is coming at him close to the outside rail. Ruthless Tycoon has had enough. Point Danger, Belle de Jour, and coming down the outside, Thong Classic with a run. They've got 150 to go. Belle de Jour's burst up on the outside to hit the lead now. Belle de Jour from Point Danger and Gold Class, but Belle de Jour's too good and wins it over a length to Point Danger, probably second. So the Thong Classic or Gold Class third. And then came Travis Gay right behind them, trailed by Sedation, Umrum, West Express, and then Roxar, followed by Bomber Bill. Next was Keffel, Slipstream, towards the tail of City Shy, Ruthless Tycoon, tiring badly, and so too did Look for a Star, who's last in.
From a distance, mate.
Yeah, well, pretty happy. She's my second favourite girl. Louise's a favourite. But she's my second favourite, you know, and just to see her come back and win again because, you know, she's pretty honest. A run down the day in the Epsom was a terrific run, and you got beat 2.
Rose was here. No sign of Singo, though, or Bob Hawke. But Clary was elated as they crossed the line. Not too far from where we're situated.
Terrific win too, wasn't it, Ron?
Yeah, I think she proved, like, her run in the Epsom was great. She charged. Yeah. I think it proved that she's probably nice and fresh 1,200. That's a go. And if she's weighted nicely in the Salinger, she wouldn't be out of a race like that. I wouldn't give up on the favourite there, Gold Class. He was thrown in at the deep end yesterday. First time down the straight. He was weighted up with the top weights, even though he was down the bottom of the weights. I think he's a horse with a lot of potential in the yellow there. Thong Classique, the 4th horse, he's an underrated horse too back in distance yesterday. Went terrific.
Yeah. Keith?
Well, it was Belle de Jour's first run in Melbourne, and she did it well. She was beaten little more than 2 lengths in the Epsom, so she did have the form to recommend there. And Johnny was reminiscing there, and so can I too, about the...
4 from 5 has Dan Nikolic on board. Also has a wet track victory to its credit. Now Housebreaker moved up. Has been a little late support there. Macca over a huge drifter. She's got right out on the betting on track. Now coming in...
Gosford race 7, this is the biggie, the Belle of the Turf, and we're going to look at the betting there, and we'll flick over the page. I'm going to show you a replay of Danacia winning last start on Super Saturday at Randwick, and also Dandify. I've marked both horses for you to be able to... Lynn Gold, the favourite. They've been riding predominantly this campaign with a little bit more pace than what she's shown before. I don't know whether she needs to get back and unleash that familiar burst of hers, but she's $3.30, and then we go to Burrawin on the 4th line of betting at $8.
Jumped as well as anything. Nicely away was Danacia, and she's purring up looking for the lead. Winona's not far back, and then Maitland Gold, followed by Interbank, and then Tempest Morn, and Sybil from the wide gate is trying to get across the face of the field, and then down to 150. Gypsy May taken on by Sybil. Plenty of speed here. 2.5 to Maitland Gold, a length to Tempest Morn, followed on the inside by Interbank, and then Danacia Danacia Piccoline, she's purring. Further back in the field is a Beale Hostess who's over on the inside rail, followed by Dandify who's making a little ground, and then Barrowin. And further back in the field is Winona and the last pair of Currajong Mist and Life Goes On. They pack up coming down the side in the bell of the turf, and Gypsy May and Sybil. Maitland Gold is about to attack them. Tempest Morn is wider out, followed by Interbank, and then Danacia pushed along at a length as She's Purring and Dandify, followed by Barrowin. Around the corner they travel, and Gypsy May in front. Interbank goes after her from Sybil. Barrowin getting up on the inside, and here's Maitland Gold from Dandify. Maitland Gold hits the front in the bell of the turf, and the local mare's a length and a half clear. Dandify is rattling home. Maitland Gold still in front from Dandify. Oh! Dandify has lunged at Maitland Gold, a ripper. Third is close with Tempest Morn there. So too Winona, Sybil, Interbank, Barrowin, and Life Goes On. Not all that far away. Terrific finish, and Dandify's got there. Number 2 is the winner, Dandify, Corey Brown. Number 3 is second, and that is Maitland Gold, ridden by Chris Muntz. And number 1 is third, and that is Tempest Morn, ridden by Jim Cassidy. Mr. Jeff and Mrs. Beryl White by Dane Hill from Mannerism. They don't come much better bred, do they? And trained by Jack Denham. Gold had it won everywhere but the last stride by Maid of Gold from Party Game, trained by Albert Stapleford, ridden by Chris Muntz. And Danford, ridden by Chris Muntz. And Dandify, 23 starts, 6 wins, 4 seconds and 3/3. She put the writing on the wall with a good second to Danacia on the inside track at Randwick on Epsom Day, and has, with natural improvement following that run.
On top rater ahead of Camina, Mystegic and Sports. Here is the market on the Scalacci Stakes. Falvalon $1.80, Sports $10, Notoire $42. Windigo 18, Little Dozer 37, Joshua's Pride 21, Camina $4.80, 8/8 at 18. On Type 17, Mystegic 25, Scratch 11, and Regal Kiss Michael Walker at 25.
There's a definite danger though.
25, Camina 410, 8/8 at 17. Over to On Type 14, Mystegic 21, Deprave is a...
All clears through, they're racing. All Falvalon jumped well, but he then seemed to knuckle, but he's found himself in front. Camina's jumped away okay. Will Posse not far away from the pace. It's Falvalon the leader narrowly. Now Mystegic and Notoire showing pace today. Trailed by On Type and Little Dozer coming to the 500 metre mark, and Mystegic is the leader. Sports wide out. 8/8 is up there near the inside, closely followed by Notoire and Falvalon, who's putting himself in the picture now. And then came Camina, pulled to the outside around the home turn. Mystegic tackled by Falvalon, Sports, Notoire. Regal Kiss has made ground on the inside, and then Camina coming down the outside. Haven't got Mystegic yet. 150 out. It's Mystegic against the rail in front of Falvalon, and then Sports and Camina. Mystegic in front. Falvalon tries hard, but a boil over coming up. Mystegic all of the way. Mystegic wins it. Windigo's got through and grabbed second. Falvalon battled late into third placing, followed by Little Dozer and Camina, who didn't come on. They were trailed by Regal Kiss, 8/8, and then Sports. On Type second last, and Notoire dropped out and ran last.
Yeah, a surprise. Lee Curtis from Sydney has produced Mystegic with Glenn Bossable.
Windigo.
Yeah, and the widest runner here is Little Dozer, who's going up outside Camina now. He actually runs fourth. He made up some ground out deep.
Very lightly raced. That's his 10th start, 3rd win. Larry Olsen.
Ecstatic. Continued the good run for Sydney horses and Sydney jockeys on the day. I was reasonably disappointed with Falvalon's run given the weight scale. Keith, was there any news on him? Did he pull up okay?
Well, he knuckled over at the start. That got him off on the wrong foot, Rich. And Danny Begore, his trainer, said after the race that he pulled up as sore as a boil. But that wasn't reflected in the steward's report. There was no vet test, to my knowledge, taken from Falvalon. This was a pre-race plan. As soon as Glenn Boss saw that the dangers had drawn wide, he and the trainer mapped out a plan on Mystegic to use his pace, use his lighter weight, and try and hold them.
News from Chairman of Stewards Des Gleeson, Keith, that Falvalon...
At 100, Rain Gauge 93, Altiero 90, and Tyrolean 90. Freemason $12, 2 out. Mr. Prudent 36, Scratch 4. Rain Gauge 350, Rum 880. 13, Second Mortgage 350, Tyrolean $10. Dup 164, Gone 65. Hero 980, Rum $10, Freemason 13, Matriculate 18, Viva.
And they're off, and the Second Mortgage jumped away okay. Mr. Prudent looked to be a touch slow. Viva La Vie jumped well, and so did Gone towards the inside, and Rum. In behind them early in the field, then at the head of the others, Rain Gauge. Altiro's on the improve towards the leaders. They're coming down to the post the first time. A good battle for the lead. Gone against the rail. Altiro in the centre with the second mortgage 4 wide. Rum's up there too. Couple of lengths away in the field, then Ills on the inside of Freemason, and then Carrason heading to the 1,000-metre mark, led Viva La Vie, who strode into second, placing the second mortgage. Now gets a good trail. Rum is fourth. Altiro fifth, the inside from All Tacked Up. A length Karazi, another length to Rain Gauge, trailed then by Gone and Ills. Another length away then just on it to the outside from Tyroline. At the 800-metre mark, third last is Skybow. Matriculate about to take off, and Mr. Prudent up the side. And it's Freemason by a length and a quarter. Viva La Vie second, the second mortgage over on the rail from Altiro, and Rum's now out 3 or 4 wide. They were trailed then by Gone coming through on the inside from All Tanked Up. Rain Gauge about to start its run. And back behind them, Karazi, Matriculate, Tyroline strung up and a fair way from them. As they cornered, it's Freemason narrowly from the second mortgage out to challenge, and then Viva La Vie and Rum down the outside. Clear of Rain Gauge, and then came Altiro, the second mortgage at the 250. He went up to join Freemason, and wider out as Rum, and Gone is getting a rails run. The second mortgage and Freemason, they're racing very tight together. Freemason the inside and the second mortgage. The whip's cracking. Freemason doing too well. Freemason wanted to nick the second mortgage. A length to Rain Gauge, and then Karazi and Just Otto, trailed closely by Tyroline. Back behind them was Mr. Prudent making ground along the inside. He was trailed further back then by Viva La Vie, Gone, Rum, Skybow. Further back in the field, Altiro, and they were trailed well back by All Tanked Up, who had a torrid run. Matriculate towards the end, and Ills is last in.
Well, of seconds for us, Jack, a fantastic return to form.
That was lovely, yeah. Unexpected. It was great.
Why unexpected?
Well, his last couple of runs haven't been so good.
Yeah. Terrific ride in the front, though.
Yeah, it was great. There was no speed, and he did the right thing, really. It was great.
OK, and throughout. Well, Darren, we're going to...
Second mortgage drew level, maybe even headed him for a stride or two, but he fought back courageously. He was gelded very late in life too, as you're...
Mr. Prudent making ground...
Well, that's his first win since the Queensland Derby of 2000. He's a 5-year-old having his 37th start. The runner-up, the second mortgage, is a year younger, having only his 8th start. So his run was terrific. Now, Gouch, did you go out there with a set plan to lead, or did it just happen?
Well, it sort of just happened, John. We didn't have any set plan with the horse. We've been a little bit disappointed in his performance of his last 2 runs, and we opted to take the beakers off yesterday, and I think that's probably just helped him leave the barrier a bit better and take a bit more interest in the race earlier. When the pace slowed down, John did say to me, don't be afraid to go to the front. If the horse gets pulling and it gets a little bit keen, which he has been. And things fell his way yesterday, but it was nice to see him fight back the way he did and show a bit of his old form. It was, I was very happy. The two came together.
Stage 3 Group 1 races up for grabs, highlighted by the Carlton Draft Caulfield Guineas, which is variously being described as the best field ever assembled in this race's 120-year history. And Matty, it might end up being the race of the carnival.
It may. It's probably down to a racing two. The Guineas and the Cox Plate vying for that title that you mentioned, but the Guineas is a super race, and it's just going to be so interesting to see how the Melbourne and Sydney form come together.
Now, Alan, 7 or 8 key chances here. Tell us how you're lining them up.
Absolutely. This is how I've lined them up, Jared. I've got Viscount at $4. It was able to dictate terms at Moonee Valley. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult this time. We've got Lonro as equal favourite at $4, has won at Caulfield, and will be able to run in the dead or slow. I actually think this thing will start an outright favourite by the time they jump. We've got Pure Theatre at $6.50, will box seat out of the barrier. North Boy at $9.
I'm doing Magic Albert on top, Jared. I just think he's got that versatility at good odds to be the Caulfield.
Lonro will do what his father Octagonal couldn't. I think Viscount will control the race and just get nutted on the line and finish 3rd. Alan, who are you picking?
I'm going to have to go with Lonro as well, Jared. I think it's one horse that'll be able to handle the dead or the slow track, and I think it'll be there at the end.
Well, here, Gold Coast. Now, the Caulfield Guineas, top rate of Viscount ahead of Lonro, Magic Albert and North Boy. The market, Viscount $7, Lonro $5.80, Magic Albert $15, North Boy $4.40, Viking Ruler $11, Eustonov $19, Pure Theatre $6.80 and Counter Agent $231. Tully Dane $65, Dash for Cash $8.80, Classic Cut is $83, Ebony Knight $33, Sir Anabar $35, Royal Code $15,
And I expect him to win his 4th Group 1 race.
Ronnie, you haven't changed your mind?
No, I think he's terrific odds at 4-1, and he's got these carrying.
All the big money has been for the top one, Viscount. It is now an outright favourite. Second line of betting is shared by Lonro, North Boy and Pure Theatre. And one at a bigger price that has been backed is the Clary Connors trained Viking Ruler. So if you want to chuck...
Pure Theatre, 230 for Counter Agent. Over to Tully Dane, 76. 980 Dash for Cash. 88 Classic.
And a good start too. Soon after the jump, Dash for Cash. Magic Hatter going out fast, looking for the lead. Sir Anna Bar and Ebony Knight are up there from Tully Dane. Going forward is Magic Albert very quickly, and Viscount's on the improve 2 out wider. As they settle down fully, Bar on the inside, being followed by Counter Agent and Ebony Knight out wide. One to Tully Dane, who's also deep with 1,000 metres to go, and then a length and a half further back, Pure Theatre. Royal Codes caught wide too, and North Boy in behind them. Lonro's got back to 3rd last, and he's 3 deep at the 800 metres around the outside of Eustonov and Viking Ruler. Classic Cut moved up on the outside, and he's joined the leader, Magic Hatter. Ebony Knight caught out wides on the improved too, and he's got into 3rd placing, closely followed then by Magic Albert. Tully Dane off the track, improving. Just behind these is Dash for Cash on the inside, and then came Counter Agent. Oh, we got to check there, Counter Agent. Viscount's on the improve around him. Further back is Pure Theatre, and then Royal Code, who's never been on the track, and Lonro's pulled to the outside as they corner in the Guineas now. Ebony Knight's hit the lead from Magic Hatter on the inside, then Magic Albert. Here's Pure Theatre coming down the outside. Viscount can't go on. Lonro's coming with a big run down the outside. They're across the track. Pure Theatre and Lonro. Ocky's little boys taken the lead, Lonro, and pulls away to win the Guineas. It's Lonro first, Eustonov flashing home for 2nd. Either Pure Theatre or Viking Ruler, a big run for 3rd. And Lonro's pulled to the outside as they corner in the Guineas now. Ebony Knight's hit the lead from Magic Hatter on the inside, then Magic Albert. Here's Pure Theatre coming down the outside. Viscount can't go on. Lonro's coming with a big run down the outside. They're across the track. Pure Theatre and Lonro. Ocky's little boys taken the lead, Lonro, and pulls away to win the Guineas. It's Lonro first, Eustonov flashing home for 2nd. Either Pure Theatre or Viking Ruler, a big run for 3rd, and they were followed by Royal Code. Back behind these to finish then was Ebony Knight, and then came Dash for Cash, followed by Classic Cut. Then came Magic Hatter. Next in Viscount, who's tired badly in the run home from Counter Agent. Well back in the field. At the head of the others, Tully Dane, who never got on the course. Well back is Magic Albert towards the end with Sir Anna Bar and North Boy.
Well, against the bias on the day, Lonro defies that bias. And number 2, 550 and 240. Ebony Knight. Here, but next is Magic Hatter, who's starting to struggle. Out in the centre is Pure Theatre. Eustonov in the yellow colours. And then widest of all is Lonro. Ronnie, what a big win.
Oh, he's got a tremendous will to win this horse. The sky's the limit. He gathered him up out wide there. Probably not the place to be today, but it didn't matter to him. He's just all class.
And as Octagonal wins his first Group 1 race as a sire, here's Tim Sheridan.
And against the bias of the day, as Kenny said, he came from behind.
Came from last. Unbelievable. No, it's unbelievable thrill. Like Oggy.
I'm going to have a go at it. Ocky's little brother, he's got a bit of ticker about him.
He has got a lot of ticker, and he's a little bit more brilliance when he sprints this horse.
Oh, that's nice, eh, boys? A little bit more brilliance.
Copped a bit of criticism this week, but
Melbourne, Freemason, and a short time ago Lonro winning the Caulfield Guineas in very impressive fashion.
He's an awesome horse.
What a great field.
Speech at the presentation by a very emotional John Hawkes.
First of all, I'd like to thank Jack and Bob for giving me the opportunity to train their horses throughout Australia. They've been fantastic to me since I went to Sydney, and everything I've asked, they've done for me. And to see a son of Octagonal win today, well, it can't get much better than that. What a bloody day. In saying that, I'd also like to thank Darren Gauchi, who have been friends for a long time, and to win a race like this today on a son of Octagonal, I don't think it gets any better. He rode the horse extremely well, and maybe he might be a future champion. Thank you very much.
For us, is owning Octagonal, and to think that one of his sons would do what he did. And when Darren got off him, he said to me, that's the best horse I've ever ridden.
Pretty big rap, isn't it?
I said, that's a bit of a rap, Darren. He said, it's the best horse I've ridden. so that's a wrap, isn't it? So it makes you excited.
Now, Gouch, we've all been guilty of making statements at the height of euphoria. In the cold light of Sunday morning, having slept on it, are you sure of that? Is he the best you've ridden?
Well, I said yes also. You said yesterday, John, that I thought Superimpose was the best horse I rode. And he still probably is. And Longrow done what Superimpose generally does yesterday. I thought his effort was outstanding. As you see the replay, what happened to him in the run and how much ground he had to cover. And it was a very strong Guineas. And he's picked him up within a few strides and beat him. It was an outstanding effort.
After everything went wrong, there he is running his last 400 metres in 22.46 seconds. That is incredible, seeing he was wide and had no luck in the run, Darren.
No, he had no luck, too. He didn't have much luck at all, no favours at all, and he still won very well.
Aaron, I'm glad you cleared up the Superimpose matter. I was going to take you to task over that. Lonro's got a little bit left to do yet, but he is a very, very promising horse. But in the same article where they quote you as saying in Sydney, in a Sydney paper this morning, that he was a better horse than Superimpose, they have Shane Dye coming down from Hong Kong to ride him in the Cox Plate. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's, isn't it? Shane can ride the weight, and I wish I was, about 3 or 4 kilograms lighter, because I'd love to be on him.
Are you going to have a go at riding that weight?
Look, I like to have a go, yes. I reckon I'm a chance getting down to that weight, but I've got to feel well on the day, and like I said, I haven't spoken to John about it.
Yeah, I was very happy with his run. He had a nice run. He tried very hard. The winner was just too good on the day, but I was extremely happy with the way that Miles ran.
Looking towards a beyond race, maybe a race like the Derby now.
I think would be an ideal race for him, for sure. Yeah, it was a fantastic run, Andrew. I was just saying a few, Adrian Dunn and the boys, he's a serious horse. Obviously, he got a few things wrong. He dwelt the start a little bit, and obviously, those good races, you can't really do that. And when he came out a bit ordinary, I gave him a little bit of a click so to get into his gear. They ran pretty quick going up the hill, and then once they got to the top of the hill, they backed off the tempo. So it was hard to bring him back, and he wanted to keep rolling. But all in all, he's wasted a lot of energy there, and to still look like he was going to win half like the straight was a good performance. And he'll just get better with racing this horse. Inexperience has probably cost him the win today. Yeah, it was a good run. I think the barrier beat us for sure. As you know. Yeah, the 1600 metres is probably just a bit too far for him, Andrew, and I think he's more a specialist sprinter. He got into a nice spot, Andrew. He just, the horse that was running second come back in his lap a bit. I had to check off its heels sort of a couple of times, sort of the 1200 and then closer again at the 400. His run was all right. I wouldn't just dismiss him on that.
Yeah, John, took the tape 3 or 4 times this morning. Royal Codes was one of the best runs in the race, taking nothing away from Viking Ruler, but he got a freak run through the field. Eustonov had a better run in the race than Lonrow did, but Royal Code was all over the place. Glenn said it was like riding a drunk.
I have to say about Lonrow, if you think Eustonov and Viking Ruler were great runs, they were all together when they turned.
That's right.
And because they went round the inside, by the time they straightened up, they were 2 lengths in front of Lonrow, and he picked them up again. I don't think you can compare their performances to his.
Hey, Darren, what were your thoughts?
The real feature of the day, the weight for age race, and this has grown in stature in recent years, is the Yalumba Stakes. Of course, it will be dominated by Northerly, and Alan, as we go to your market, I imagine that's the case.
No doubt, it's a clear and outright favourite. I've got Northerly marked at $1.60. It has won on the dead, but hasn't seen a slow or heavy track, so that's the only question mark, depending on whether we get rain or not. I've got Shogun Lodge at $4. Again, I think if we do get rain, it'll probably be...
And Ethereal, over from New Zealand, finally. We've waited a long time, a week before the Caulfield Cup, it's finally arrived.
Almost at the 11th hour, she's arrived. She's a bit of a mystery runner. We last saw her win a very classy Queensland Oaks. Some suggestion that she's probably not up to this level of racing weight for age, but definitely regarded as a Caulfield Cup contender.
OK, so to Northerly, and he has...
Top rating ahead of its Platonic, Shogun Lodge and Native Jazz. Shogun Lodge 530, Northerly 210, Native Jazz 470, Hill of Grace 17, its Platonic 12, Ethereal 17, Asia 20, Kembla Grange and Newcastle Saturday meetings. Yalumba Stakes update, Shogun Lodge 450, Northerly 180, Native Jazz 610.
Number and they're away, and a good start with Asia and Evander away nicely. Northerly's jumped fast. Oliver's looking left and right. trying to head over towards the leaders, and Shogun Lodge is deeper on his outside. Northerly's caught 3 wide. Oliver might boot to the front. As they settle into stride, it's Hill of Grace narrowly from Northerly and Evander to the inside. 2 lengths Shogun Lodge, 4th outside Ethereal. A length and a half further back, and at the tail end Asia with Native Jazz about to go. As they came to the railway side, Northerly in front of Evander and Hill of Grace. Shogun Lodge back 4th, and Native Jazz improving around the outside from Ethereal. Then it's Platonic and 2 lengths to Asia now last. Northerly by the 800, out by about a length of Evander, and just behind them over on the inside is Hill of Grace as they came near to the home turn. Native Jazz around Shogun Lodge, trailed then by Ethereal, who's 3rd last on the inside from Litz, Platonic and Asia. But it's Northerly coming towards the home turn by a length of Evander, who's under extreme pressure. Hill of Grace the inside. Shogun Lodge pushed along as Northerly corners nicely clear, and Native Jazz out wide into the straight now, and Oliver's released the brakes on Northerly. He quickly shot about 3 lengths in front. Shogun Lodge, Native Jazz battling away, and then came Hill of Grace and Ethereal. It's Northerly well clear with 100 to go. Shogun Lodge digging deep. He's 2 behind but closing. Northerly about a length and a half in front. Shogun Lodge can't reach him, and Northerly virtually all the way wins it. It's Northerly from Shogun Lodge and 3rd Ethereal. They were trailed just behind them by Hill of Grace, Asia, Native Jazz, and then came Evander, and it's Platonic dropping out to last.
Yeah, the winner in tactics was Damien Oliver on number 2.
Track work, but he knows how to perform when it counts, doesn't he, Fred?
Yeah, he's pretty good, like, and that was Northerly his best, I thought.
Pretty good. Can you be the master of the understatement anymore?
No, I think he's got me stuck for words. To be honest, no, I was very pleased. He settled, he raced well. Damien kicked him up. If I picked it right, I thought they went to the line with something in hand.
He's that perfect melt.
If something comes at him, he really answers a challenge, and today, just out in front, he was really waiting for something to come at him, but you know, it's a pretty soft win.
Okay, you've had 3 starts on him for 3 wins, Dame, and has he improved?
Yeah, I think the horse is really starting to come in the coat, Simon. He's had a bit of a winter coat, and he's really starting to look better. His attitude's got really good now. Clint McDonald.
The last 600 in 35 would have been a tremendous effort for Shogun Lodge to pick him up, and he done well to get within 3/4 of a length of him.
You came here wanting a hit out for the Cox play.
Payoff here this afternoon as we look at the totes on the previous at Caulfield, and what an awesome performance it was from Northerly to lead all the way and win. I'm very...
You know, good horses help trainers, and he's helped me.
You've seen your horse win today. You've seen Sunline win at Flemington a week ago. We're 2 weeks away from the Cox Plate. How do you feel about it, Fred?
Well, what about that other 3-year-old, Lunro? Is he going there? Because some of the things I see I don't particularly enjoy.
Good on you, Fred. Bring on the Cox Plate.
Yeah. That horse yesterday. He wanted to give him the easiest possible run.
There was a bit left there.
It was almost a cheeky ride, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, Graham, I think there was a heap left.
Yeah.
I think there was half a tank left.
Half a tank.
Well, I don't think they'll need the Cox Plate building up to be.
No, still got to wait 2 weeks. Keith.
Well, I think a couple of very important comments came after the race. One was from Fred Kersley who said that Northerly seemed to enjoy the race yesterday. That was true. He didn't seem to enjoy winning the Underwood, but he is back on the song now, and Damien Oliver's reaction was, bring on the Cox Plate. That was your reaction too, Gouts, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Keith. It's going to be a great race, and you know, like Sunline and Long Way Now, and Northerly, well, he won very well yesterday. I thought he dominated the race in front, and I felt that his win was pretty soft in the end as well, and you know, he hadn't really stoked him up and only made him do as much as he had to. It was a great win.
Shogun Lodge pulled ground off Northerly, but was never a threat.
Eased the pressure off a little bit once he'd established his lead, but I think they were going along on a fair hike, and Damien wanted that because the slower it was run, the more vulnerable Northerly was.
Hey, we've overlooked the merit of the run by the 3rd horse, Ethereal, the mare.
Oh, yes, very good.
Hey, what a damn good run that was.
Yeah.
What's she in the Caulfield Cup?
Probably.
Daphne on the turn.
Ripper of a Cox Plate, or is it not? Have a look at this. Sunline.
I reckon it's the best Cox Plate I've seen, and I know people rate 1992 when superimposed one as a...
Mr Murphy, Defire and Mr Bureaucrat all at 100 ahead of Crawl, 96. Rum, $10. This is the Group 1 to rack handicap. Mr Murphy, 9.10. Crawl, 8.20. King Keitel, 13. Referral, 22. Shower Heart, 18. Lazagaletta, 28. Sadurka, 40. Brave Prince 56, Lord Essex 26, Weasel Will 790, Royal Voyage 63, Defier 540, Mission 14, 21 Mark Our Heart 16, Lazagoletta 34 and Sedurka 35. Prince 6 Voyage 62, Defier $5, Mission Sedurka 35. Brave Prince 68, Lord Essex 24, Weasel Will 980, Royal Voyage 62, Defier $5, Mission 15, Market Price 21, Mr Bureaucrat 18, Lady Marion 40, 32 Shot of Thunder and 19, 20 and 21 all.
It's such an important race. Lazagoletta in the middle of the line and Crawl a touch slow to bounce out. Royal Voyage and Sedurka both away quickly. Weasel Will and Mr Bureaucrat are right behind them. Mr Murphy's going forward from the outside and Lady Marion scooting across as well. As they settle into stride, Defier is middle of the field. Up 3 wide around Shot of Thunder and Crawl. Up the side now they race and Sedurka going out with a big lead of about 5 lengths to Lord Essex in second place. Umrum getting up to third around the outside of Royal Voyage and Lady Marion. 2 lengths to Mr Murphy Referral. They're followed by Mr Bureaucrat. Weasel Will Defies in an awkward place on the rails coming around the home turn, and then Lazagoletta and Showerheart right off the track as they corner. Sedurka's broken the field up. He's coming back now. Royal Voyage is coming after him and Lord Essex with a run. Down the outside is Umrum and Defier's got through, but he needs a little bit of luck. There's not much room for him. He's chopped out. Lord Essex hit the lead. Umrum. Here's Showerheart. Showerheart is swapping them on the outside, raced up deep on the course. Showerheart has hit the front and Showerheart beats Lazagoletta. Shot of Thunder might have grabbed third from Mr Bureaucrat, then the unlucky Defier. Followed close up in the inside then by Referral, Umrum, and then came Lord Essex and Crawl from Market Price. Back behind those to finish Mr Murphy, Brave Prince, and then came a Mission King Keitel. Towards the tail is Weasel Will. Sedurka tied very badly. Royal Voyage back amongst the ruck in company with Lady Marion.
You put a bit of water on the track and he just loves it. 6 Showerheart, 16.70 and 5.20.
The top. Yeah, he gave him a big start, but he done a good job. He's due for a win.
You had a rough day here last year, and this time you've got the money on the day, haven't you?
I've had a lot of rough days in last year, I can tell you.
Yep. Yeah. This one makes up for him?
Yeah, it makes up for him, yeah.
Good on you, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
About 3 wide, but he had great cover. And tell you what, getting to the 400, he was absolutely smoking this horse, and it was just a matter of letting him down, and when he did, he got to him so easy.
He had some great form. He's been placed in the Newmarket down the straight. He's a terrific little sprinter. Quite weighted well today.
Yeah, mate, and I have to thank Barry Miller, because I had no luck on the other one. I just got on my knees and asked if I could ride him again, and Barry put me back on. I'm very honoured to have had the riding today.
Hey, now you've just won a Group 1. Pull him up there. Give us a bit of a jingle. There we go. That's what we used to.
1-2 rack handicap. Glen Boss wins another Group 1. The winner is trained by Barry Miller at Eagle Farm in Brisbane, and this has been a terrific little horse, Showerheart. A 4-year-old Entire by Brave Warrior. That's his 5th trouble. Horse has struck down near the inside. The worst sufferer, Defier. Showerheart came right down the outside like Lonro and missed all the trouble.
He seemed to wobble around the home turn, didn't he?
Yeah, but when I sent him out there, I still gave him a chance because Longrow was out there.
Yep.
And he was last straightening up. This horse was a long way back, too.
Yeah, he did. He reeled off some very good sectionals.
Oh, he always has done, you know what I mean? But he has no luck.
You've been a bit frustrated, haven't you?
Oh, why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
The last 12 months, you know, when you say it's just race after race, there's bad luck stories, and, you know, unbelievable what's happened to the horse.
Yeah.
You know, I reckon the horse should have had 6 Group 1s, not 3.
Yeah. Tell us, you'll probably go back to the cell.
Sure do, Barry. End to all his frustrations yesterday. That was a real Queensland affair, John, wasn't it, yesterday, that?
Yeah, and I was talking about Queensland. There's another Group 1 winner to a son of the ill-fated Brave Warrior. Strike me, Rowan, what a tragic loss.
A long time between drinks for Showerheart. The last time that he won a race, or at least within the rules, was when he was relegated to first in the Caulfield Guineas last year.
Yes, of course, that race was won by Scalato and taken off him after producing a positive swab. But he loves that track, Showerheart, doesn't he? And he's trained at Caulfield when he comes to Melbourne, and Barry Miller is a great bloke. Lots of unlucky runners in the run.
Crawl, my God.
Yeah.
How unlucky was he?
He was a bit.
Market Price was another.
Let's have a look at the head-on here, John.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the head-on here, John.
Yeah.
Now,
Crawl. See, Crawl with the All Cerise right behind Sedurka. Watch the trouble he runs into. Defier's got the pink cap and the white pom-pom, one horse off the fence.
He's already been interfered with by this time. He got through late and started to make ground and made good ground in the end. Old Zagaletti, you can't miss him out wide.
What about him, mate? He picked up $70,000.
He's an old knob. He's a beauty. He's a grumpy old thing, but he's had the same strapper since he was a yearling, that horse, and she's pretty grumpy too.
Yeah, his temperament might change now you've left the stable.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Hey, Gouch, you hit the front.
Oh, the 200 metres, but he had enough by then.
Keith, there's a beaten brigade. You anything to say?
I think Tappy named them all. They were Defier and Emission and Crawl. But this winner, take nothing away from him, Glenn Bost hadn't lost faith in Show a Heart. He told us after the race that he actually pleaded with Barry Miller to be given another chance to ride Show a Heart, and he rode him well, and he got the money. I think...
Meantime, the first injury blow of the carnival, with Shogun Lodge, a brave second to Northerly on Saturday, out of the Cox Plate after pulling up with a sore fetlock. One of the favourites for the Caulfield Cup, Native Jazz, is out of the race. The highly fancied 5-year-old suffered a colic attack overnight. And in a double blow for punters, heavily backed, the second mortgage is unlikely to run after being named third emergency.
Shot treated with antibiotics and unable to run for 5 days.
It's disappointing, but, you know, I've been at it 35 or 40 years, so, you know, you learn to roll with these punches. It's just one of those things, you know. We're used to living with that. If you had lots of horses, you understand that they're not machines.
He'll now run in the Moonee Valley Cup on course to the first Tuesday in November, when the Caulfield...
Good evening. Shock news for Saturday week's Cox Plate, with Caulfield Guineas winner Lonhro ruled out. The colt will be sent straight to the paddock. The hopes of the Hawke stable now rest solely on the shoulders of Viscount. Anthony Mitham with more.
John Hawkes was thinking about. Still an immature 3-year-old, Hawkes has sent the horse to the spelling paddock before an autumn campaign. The silent trainer keen to release the news as soon as possible. This year, the glare of media scrutiny wasn't quite so bright on the Caulfield Cup field. The field settled when Mike Moroney's the second mortgage named an emergency. It's clearly a stable.
And Hosanna, well, she's been knocking on the door. There's preparation with a second behind Ha Ha and a third at 3 of her 4 runs, and a second behind Moonflute in the Furious. This octagonal filly is out of Genuflect, the Crown Jester mare. Looks an absolute treat. There's page 1. Its best value is on Super Tab. And the Yuga Charka's best value, no surprises, on the New South Wales TAB. From there, we go down. Bart Cummings trained Danehill Daughter is at $12. Now, Northern, similar quotes, ha-ha, around the country. Greg Miles to call the Group 1000 guineas.
I think the punters had a good look at what happened in the previous race. There were horses who covered ground and weren't totally disadvantaged. Track chopping up a little bit. I think we might just squeeze this in time. There looks to be... And Ha-Ha jumped well on the outside. Magic Sky hasty back away quickly with Uga Chaka and Hosanna, and Cassidy's going forward very quickly on Ha-Ha. She's shooting across the field, and after 250 she's gone from the outside barrier to lead by 2 lengths. Wanmo and Moonflute near the inside. Ha-Ha the leader on the outside. True Jules goes up and shades her on the outside as they head to the 800 metres. La Lagoon just behind them, followed by Lolo Lil, Magic Sky 5th to rail, and then Hosanna. Magical Miss and Babe Zahari is coming into it wide out, and they're trailed then by Hasty back at Uga Chaka. Next one mode being trailed by Hot Beat, Special Grange and Moonflute. At the 550, Ha-Ha narrowly from True Jules. Babe Zahari has rushed up to have a crack at them, and Lilo Lil is there. Wanmo's working into it solidly round the outside, and then Magical Miss. Uga Chaka's taken to the outside as they cornered, and then La Lagoon and Magic Sky into the straight, and it's Ha-Ha narrowly from True Jules, Lilo Lil, Magical Miss and Wanmo, and back behind them Uga Chaka. 200 to go, and Ha-Ha fighting on strongly, about a half in front. Here's Magical Miss coming down the outside, and True Jules in the centre. Magical Miss raced up to Ha-Ha, 50 to go. Magical Miss and Ha-Ha. Magical Miss finishes too well. Magical Miss, Stephen Arnold's done it again. A record equalling win in the race for Bart Cummings too, beating Ha-Ha. Lilo Lil has run a great race to grab third. Just behind the Uga Chaka, and close up was True Jules and Hosanna from Hot Beat. They're trailed by Hasty back and Wanmo, Special Grange, and then Magic Sky, Moonflute, La Lagoon and Babe Zaharias.
Probably going back a couple of starts, a few of us sort of dropped off a little bit at, I think it was Ballarat. How did you feel going into the race?
Well, I always thought she's the ideal horse for the race, and she looked magnificent walking the yard, and
I said to myself, whatever it beats, it'll win.
Yeah. Well, you were right, weren't you? How did you feel?
Leader turning for home. She'd be capable of winning, and she got a good turn of foot, beautiful sprint in the filly at the finish, and she's always promised. Has been unlucky with barriers and had a touch of laryngitis a few weeks ago. She's okay now, of course.
Right, okay. And onto the Oaks?
That'll be the Wakefield and the Oaks, yes.
Wakefield next and then the Oaks.
I think that'll have a spectacular bid in there, and I think the pedigree's ideal.
A rare Group 1 of late, but
emanating from Caulfield, and I recognise Brett Preble. Cavoisier $12, Silver Baron $13, Grey Song is at $4.20, Amalfi a huge tip this morning at $4.60, Zarek $20, Scratching, Tully Zeal $21, Menang is at $7.50, and Keys at $5 and $4.20.
They're racing now, and Silver Baron missed the start by about a length or so, and Keys was first to bounce out with Tully Zeal written for pace on the inside. National Chase got away well and settled in third from Cavoisier, and there's the well-tried Amalfi driving forward in the blue colours on the outside. As they field in company there with Silver Baron, Grey Song is second last by the 1,000-metre mark, and Foxborough up the side, Tully Zeal by a length and a quarter, Amalfi second, Keys is third, Ecstasy is fourth on the outside, National Chase in the orange colours down on the inside rail. It's being followed a length and a half away by Cavoisier, and then Grey Song sneaking through along the inside of horses, trailed by Zarek and Silver Baron with Foxborough at the tail. They're coming up the side now, 600 to go, and the leader Tully Zeal by a length, Amalfi, Keys the inside, National Chase. They're followed by Ecstasy and Menang making ground. Grey Song through on the inside from Cavoisier. Zarek dropping out of it on the inside from Foxborough. Silver Baron dropped out last around the turn, and Amalfi puts the test to Tully Zeal and hit the lead at the top of the straight. Keys is running on fairly behind them, and then came Grey Song followed by Ecstasy, and Amalfi's hit the front of 200 to go. It's Amalfi drawing about a length in front of Tully Zeal, and then Keys and Grey Song got Amalfi's racing away from them. Grey Song making significant ground the outside, but Amalfi given a soft run on the line. Amalfi beat the fast finishing Grey Song. Third placing going to Tully Zeal, who held on well from Menang, and then Zarek and National Chase in company with Keys. She was trailed further back by Ecstasy, and then came Silver Baron. Next to last, Cavoisier.
Yeah, it's been a good day. Our first group win. We won a listed race here during the week, but that's the stable's first group win, so hopefully on to bigger things in the Derby in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and a terrific ride by Doug.
Many people wondered why that colt wasn't in the Caulfield Guineas last Saturday. Now you know why. Peter Moody wanted to duck the superstars, felt that he was better suited.
Yeah, it was a dominant win. Good way to shot it. He'd been there with a chance.
Very closely, because stewards severely reprimanded Damien Oliver for easing down the winner, Amalfi. Watch how Ollie eases down and enables Grey Song to get close to him.
I don't think they'd ever be in any danger of Damien Oliver making a mistake like getting beaten on the horse for easing it down, but it sets a bad example to young jockeys, and I reckon that's more the point.
Menang was a nice... was it Menang?
Yeah, Menang. Yeah. She ran 4.
Ridge 93. Continuum on the Mercedes-Benz Sprint at 100, and have a look at the Super Tab dividend of $24. Niavnek at 97. Windigo Slick Sprint Field here. Scratch 1 and 2. Padstow 9.90. Windigo $3.90, Scratch 5, Pittance $11, Bomber Continuum 24, Tilt the Scales $4.40, Scratch 12, Arrogance 22, Crystal Finale at 7, C8 Matter of Honour 95, Eminent Cheval.
Quickly, and they're trying to...
on the inside, and Tilt the Scales missed it by about a length or so. Out very fast as Matter of Honour. Continuum driving up to join it, and Arrogance is going to settle right on the pace as well. Windigo 2 lengths away in form, one of the tail enders. In fact, is last back there in company with Eminent Cheval. Up to the turn, and Matter of Honour led by 2 lengths Arrogance. On the inside, third Continuum 2 lengths away, then Windigo, Crystal Finale. Padstow the rail from Tilt the Scales, Pittance well back still in the Avnik as they cornered, followed by Point Danger into the straight, and it's Matter of Honour from Arrogance. Windigo coming down the outside, and then Continuum, Padstow, Crystal Finale with a run. Matter of Honour at the 200 is being tackled by Windigo and Arrogance in the centre. Down the outside, then Crystal Finale. It's Matter of Honour from Windigo, Crystal Finale and Point Danger. Matter of Honour, Windigo. Windigo's grabbed the lead. Windigo for National. Well, has won the money from either Crystal Finale or Point Danger.
pressure. Matarov on a close-up, ran a cheeky one. Niabnik coming through along the inside was never a chance. And they were followed then by Eminent Chevelle. Arrogance and Continuum tilt the scales, who didn't begin well. Pittance is well back in the field, and Patstow's run last.
Yeah, number 4, Windigo.
9 were the placings on the Mercedes-Benz. Windigo 430 and 170, Crystal Finale 260 and Point Danger.
Field Guineas during the week. But now we turn our attention to the Carlton Draft Caulfield Cup. And as we do so, I'm joined by Matthew Stewart from the Herald Sun. And Matty, it must be one of the most confusing races ever staged in Australia.
Well, almost a typical Caulfield Cup, really. We've had some dominant winners in the last few years, but this is as open as they come. We've got the weather as a factor, we've got the perennials, the Sky Heights, and a few others who may or may not have come up, and then, of course, there's the weather, so it's a very tricky race.
And Bookman, so take us through it.
Absolutely, Jared. I've gone on the slow track. I've got Ethereal and Primrose Sands as $7 equal favourites. Ethereal has been placed on the slow track but hasn't won, and Primrose Sands hasn't seen a slow track yet. Sky Heights at $8. It's one of the old favourites and well supported. King Coattail at $8. Hit the Roof at $11. Inner Flurry is also at $11. I don't think the rain will hurt it too much. Freemason at $12. Fourth in last year's Caulfield Cup and a good run last week. Carpstead Way at $13. The weather's the big question mark for this horse. Sale of Century at $13 and Sir Clive at $15.
He rattled home for Sky Heights. He rattled home for 5th in that Underwood Stakes. Matty, you spent a bit of time at Cranbourne yesterday.
Moments there, Oliver, rain-affected track, Caulfield Cup, it was the same 2 years ago, and stranger things have happened. He's got that horrible barrier draw, though, hasn't he?
He has.
To beat Inner Flurry and a Mission, given reasonably dry ground. There's 2 Cliff Brown horses there and 2 mares, and given rain-affected...
Good race, Jared. I've gone for Freemason. I think he'll do better than last year. I've gone Sir Clive and Hit the Roof, 2nd and 3rd.
A bit of deja vu for me. I'll go with Sky Heights to win, Freemason for 2nd, and Inner Flurry to run 3rd again.
Stands at this moment with $1.7 million in the win pool. Sky Heights 11, Carpstad Way 15, King Coattail 13, Freemason 9.30, Hit the Roof 11, Sir Clive 17, Cure 22, Hill of Grace 12, Inner Flurry 6.40, Trounced at 35, Scratch 13, Big Pat 17, Sands $13, Ethereal at 12, Scratch 18, Shot of Thunder 25, Celestial Show 122 and...
But an incredible betting race. The top 8 runners only separated by $1 or 2 in betting. One of the big plunges has been on Sky Heights, the top one. It did drift out in early betting. It has come right back in. But it basically, you can throw a blanket over the top 8 runners. But Inner Flurry is the outright favourite.
17, Curata Storm 62, Pastor Express 66, over to Sale of Century $22, Hill of Grace 13, Inner Flurry 680, Trash 9.90, Ethereal, Scratch Asia, Shot of Thunder 26, Celestial Show is 103, and the second.
No doubt Freemason, if it wins for him, it'd be a great buzz for him to win a big race like that.
Now he led.
They're set. Lights flashing, and they're off. And Inner Flurry jumped a little awkwardly in the middle of the line. Sale of Century's going to snag over their heels in the early part. Primrose Sands is not showing as much dash as we expected early. She's going back, and it's trounced in front from Celestial Show and Bush Padre on the improve. He might be in front soon. King Coattail 2 lengths away on the inside, followed by Ethereal. Hit the Primrose Sands off and running in the middle of the field, and by the 1600 trounced by 2 lengths. In second placing, Bush Padre, Celestial Show tucked in 3rd, the inside, Freemason circling them, followed by Hit the Roof, a length and a half further back, then came Ethereal, King Coattail the rail, Inner Flurry's off and running quickly, followed by Primrose Sands, trapped out 3 wide, a length and a half Pastor Express, Carpstead Way, and then came Hill of Grace. 2 lengths further back is Sir Clive over on the inside of Shot of Thunder. Then came Sky Heights, another 2.5 lengths to Sale of Century, Big Pat, and Curator Storm is last of all. They've gone quickly now, and Inner Flurry's dashed right away in the early stages past the 1,000-metre mark by 3 lengths. Inner Flurry breaking the field right up. Into second placing is Trounced, and then 3 lengths to Freemason, and about 8 lengths to Bush Padre. This is an amazingly run Caulfield Cup. Celestial Show on the inside from King Coattail. Primrose Sands taking off round the outside, followed by Pastor Express, Ethereal, and Hit the Roof. 2 lengths behind these is Hill of Grace, Sky Heights, and then Sir Clive, who's over on the inside as they start the bunch before the home turn, and then Shot of Thunder, Carpstead Way, Sale of Century, Big Pat,
and Curator Storm in a flurry around the home turn in front of Trounce and Freemason coming, and here's Ethereal and Sky Heights off the track making ground. Primrose Sands is next, and then Bush Padre into the straight they race. Ethereal wide out's taken over the running. Sky Heights is coming after her. Celestial Show through along the inside with her run, and then Bush Padre passing the 200 metres now, and it's Ethereal, Sky Heights and Celestial Show over on the inside. Ethereal, Celestial Show and Sky Heights, three of them fighting out the race. Ethereal, Celestial Show, Sky Heights to hit the line. Ethereal won it by a short half head to Sky Heights and Celestial Show and a photo. They're followed in behind them by Hill of Grace, and then came Bush Padre in a flurry from Sale of Century. Next in was Big Pat, King Keitel, Pastor Express, Freemason, and then Carpstead Way hit the roof. Primrose Sands well back with Trounced, and then came Shot of Thunder. Sir Clive next to last, and last in is Curator Storm.
Well, let's look at the photo finish, because that's the most important thing with Ethereal. And yes, just on the inside, Ethereal is won by a nostril from Sky Heights with the 100 to 1 chance. Celestial Show just inside them.
And what a great result for you. Thanks, Emery. That's fabulous. Oh. I think you're allowed to cry. Oh, wait. Yes, you did. She's won the race. It was an amazingly run race. When Inafo went out and made the pace, were you expecting that? I was pleased with her in the initial stages where she was, and then they set a torrid pace early on, and she's really come into it nicely. You rode her beautifully. You brought this girl.
First Spring Carnival. You rid an early double, mate, but nothing like the Caulfield Cup. Scotty, tell us about the run in transit.
I bounced out, had a lovely run. I never had an ounce of worry until we got the winning pace, and I wasn't sure whether I got the bob in or not.
Yeah, what about her toughness over the last 50? It must have felt long.
She's the best filly I've ever ridden, and probably might be the best ever yet.
Yeah, now when you pulled
up
beside me, you weren't too sure?
No, I wasn't sure at all. It was just a bob of the heads, and knowing Damien's luck in the Caulfield Cup, well, I expected it to go his way, but no. The gods have fell upon me, so it's good.
No doubt about it.
When you came so close to a second Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, look, I'm very pleased with the horse, you know. Naturally enough, you'd want to win, but it's very hard to beat the mares on that weight.
Yeah.
But, look, he was gallant in defeat. Give him another stride and he'd probably get some money. So, but, you know, I'm very, very happy with the horse.
Yep. And
By start delivering the accolades after that Caulfield Cup, I'd like to begin by congratulating Greg Miles on a magnificent race call. Scott Seamer, Queensland-based jockey, sensational news from Caulfield. Damien Oliver, rider of Sky Heights, has lodged an objection against the winner, Ethereal, Scott Seamer, and we've just got to get the grounds here. Top of the straight to the winning post. OK, we're going to get the head-on shot now, so you can judge for yourself. There's about half a horse between them at the moment. Now, Oliver, oh yes, she moves out noticeably. They brush. I wouldn't really call it a bump at that stage, but they certainly contacted. Now, Scott Seamer's using the whip in his right hand, so there wasn't much more he could do. There's definitely daylight between them at the moment. In fact, there's no sign of them touching again at this point. Oh, no, not... We might have another look. There was...
Ethereal has shifted out and probably taken my horse out, you know, around about a horse, maybe two horses. I felt we didn't come in contact at that point, but my horse changed stride and definitely became unbalanced. At no point did I thought Scott Seamer stopped riding his horse, and I thought it probably cost my horse about a quarter of a length at that time, and with 6.5 kilos of difference from Scott's horse to my horse, it was able to get that little break on my horse, and I felt after that I slowly pulled back the margin, and you know, to be beaten only by a short half head or a nose, I felt it cost me the race.
Was that really
grasping at straws?
Make a submission?
I think he's grasping at straws. His horse before the so-called incident, he thinks I've shifted out. There's been a good half a horse to a horse between us all the time. Just before, when Damien's looking at where he thought his horse was interfered with, leading up to that point, he was riding his horse along and it was shifting into my hindquarters. I think he's just grasping at straws, and his horse had every opportunity to beat me. I haven't dictated to him or made him shift. His horse is the one that's been running around, not mine. Yeah, do you think your horse shifted out at the top of the straight? marginally. Your horse had every opportunity. It was the top of the straight to the winning post. 6 kilos, that's why it's their handicap. It's got nothing to do with whether you should have got past me or not. You had every opportunity. Yeah. Your horse was rolling into my hindquarters before the incident. I can't believe my horse shifted in onto you. Your horse clearly shifted out to mine. No, I don't think so. That's what I was to ask.
Mr. Alderson, any questions of either?
Horses coming out at him. If you go back and you watch the front on view, and you watch the line from where the material came from, he finished out at least 2 or 3 metres from the top of the straight to the finishing line. There's no doubt he's taken his line, and you're talking about a nose and margin. Not a doubt in my mind that has cost Sky Heights a win in this race. We're talking a nose.
They never touched at any point, and the race was run fairly straight all the way down the straight. I don't think it really interfered with Sky Heights' chances at all.
No, I just think it's run-of-the-race stuff, and it'll be a huge shock if it's upheld.
He used to Torfern's Melody. When Ray Cotran caused that interference, both Champagne and Jezebel were savagely interfered with, and 2 weeks later they fought out in the Melbourne Cup. They ran 1-2 in the Melbourne Cup, but there was no horse interfered like that today. A brash, I'd call it.
Yeah.
Objection, and it's the steward's opinion that Ethereal shifted out towards Sky Heights on the home turn, and again shortly after straightening, but in the view of the stewards, it doesn't impede Sky Heights running, and Sky Heights does also shift out slightly away from Ethereal after straightening. And from that point, both horses had an uninterrupted run to the winning post, and the protest is therefore dismissed in the placing stand. Thank you.
Caulfield Cup. The Carlton Draft Caulfield Cup has been won by Ethereal. She holds it. Scott Seamer, very happy. There's the owner, Peter Vella from New Zealand, Damien Oliver.
His way into the race and to be in the right spot at the right time. And I've got to say, I've never seen Scott use the Persuader with so much relish as he did that last 100 metres.
What an effort for Reece McLeod too. Young Reece having his first ride in a Caulfield Cup. He's an apprentice. He ran 3rd on Celestial Show. He was going to win 50 metres out, then just collared by Ethereal and Sky Heights, who was well in under the weight conditions and beautifully ridden again by Damien Oliver.
Connections of Sky Heights firing in the protest against the winner, it must surely have taken a bit of gloss off the win initially.
Yeah, I think it's a deflating feeling after a big race, isn't it, a protest?
Fairly frivolous, really.
You know, we're just watching it. I think, just like everyone else, we didn't think it was we thought it was going to be thrown out. Now, we've got Scott there. So, now, Scott, first of all, take us through your thoughts as you swept around the home turn.
I was quite happy coming into the corner where I was positioned and in the right part of the track. The horse that actually ran 3rd, it was my main worry. I didn't know the horse on the outside was sort of making a bit of ground till just on the line, sort of about 50 out, but there was a, head bobber, and I was lucky enough to hold on.
When they hit the line, you realised it was Damien Oliver aboard the top weight, and you reckon his luck might be enough to swing the photo finish, Scott?
That's right. With Damien's luck, here at Caulfield, with the Caulfield Cup winners he's ridden, I wasn't sure who had won, and I was sort of thinking that he might have, with his luck, got the bob in.
Well, that head-on shows your Mount Ethereal hanging out and probably taking Damien's mount out a little further. The protest, I mean, what a worrying time for you. That must have been agony for you going through that after your first first Caulfield Cup ride and the first win.
That's right. Everything went to plan in the race. Even the photo finish went my way, so I was quite pleased.
Now, Scott, the mare did move out on the corner and in the straight. Stewards weren't satisfied it was enough to cost Damien Oliver the win on Sky Heights. Could you feel the mare moving out underneath you?
She moved out marginally, not enough for anything like a protest to be upheld or anything like that. I thought myself it was a bit frivolous, a protest, but when you're in a big race like this, every little inch counts, and it was practically only 2 inches to photo finish, so...
Were you aware that someone asked Bart Cummings what he thought of the interference? He said, where did it happen, in the parade ring?
I heard that later in the night, and I thought it was quite good.
You shook hands with Damien after the protest hearing. Then you said to him, you didn't have to put me through that. And he said, I did. Do you still believe that he should have protested?
Personally, I didn't think there was anything in it. Damien told me later that he never looked at the film. He just went in there full of confidence and was hoping. So I know hope's a good thing, but I thought it made him look a bit foolish.
$910,000. That's the difference between the winner's cheque and the runner-up cheques. You shook hands with Damien. Is that over now, or are you still a bit dirty on him?
No, everything's fine. I come out on top.
I tell you what, Keith, that's...
You know, he was, I think he was looking at Scott Seamer's whip. He was really wailing his horse, and he was having a bit of a look at it and may have just worried him out of it. We didn't make any contact. I felt if we'd made some contact, you know, it could have been pretty close. Yeah. You know, in the heat of battle, and we were both right up our horses. I wasn't sure if they'd made contact or not, but it wouldn't have taken too much.
Yeah, it was an excellent feeling, Andrew. To be able to lead him up going to the straight just about, excellent feeling, yeah.
Even at the 150 to 200, you could sense the others, I guess, but you were right there.
Yeah, they just sprinted a little bit too good at the end. You know, she's more of a 2-miler. She'll just whack away at that 2-miler real good.
Good feeling, though, for you, mate.
Excellent, yeah. This day last.
You had a terrific race.
Very disappointing, mate. You know, I feel terrible for the connections, but you know, it's pretty hard to win a Caulfield Cup when you're running like that.
Yeah, he ran a very nice race. I've been going to the races anyway. In a Flurry, Graham was the race favourite. Interesting move early in the piece. Jim Cassidy, as we heard, claiming that she just pulled her way to the front. Your thoughts, Keith?
Yes, Jimmy said that he went to make a move on Inner Flurry and she bolted. She had an horrendous run. Look at the gap it set up. Look how it spread out the Caulfield Cup field, Joe. Inner Flurry ran an amazing race to battle on and finish 6th.
I thought there weren't many standout Melbourne Cup runs, Keith, behind the winner in the second horse.
The first time, the position I got.
Right, sorry, Rich.
Yeah, I just was saying to try and ask Keith if he thought there were many standout runs behind the winner and the second horse. Obviously, Ethereal and Sky Heights were great runs. Maybe Hill of Grace finished off all right, and I suppose you could stretch it back to Sail of Century, who went quite well in the race, but I didn't think there was a standout run behind the place getters.
There wasn't. I reckon the standout stood at home. And Universal Prince, I think Universal Prince would have, you know, really made a difference to that cup. But this was a cup for a few minutes when the protest was on.
Yeah.
2 kilo penalty to 52 kilos. Will you run Ethereal in the Melbourne Cup?
Look, we'll evaluate it this week, see how she comes through. Possibly we won't go for the Melbourne Cup.
You'd never get a chance like that again, Sheila. A top-staying mare, little weight. Let's Elope did it. She's in Let's Elope's class, isn't she?
Yes. Listen, I'm sure she could win it, but at the end of the day, we have to do what's in her best interest. So, as I say, we'll see how she comes through, see what alternatives there are for her. And, I mean, it's a nice race. It's a lovely, lovely day.
Yours? And so he should have been. Justice was done. I'm not blaming Damien Oliver. If I'd have been in his position, probably I'd have put in a protest too. But really, if he'd have got it, it'd have been a real hometown decision. And that wasn't going to happen with Des Gleeson in the chair. What about Melbourne Cup trials in the race? There are a couple of beauties. Sky Heights right there, of course. But I reckon Bede Murray with Universal Prince and his jockey Justin Sheehan, they'd be still sitting at home quite content with what they saw yesterday and what their horse Universal Prince can do. Good luck and good punting.
Go, yeah. All right, now I want to talk. It's going to build in the next 48 hours. Can you tell us your feelings on how the horse was ridden?
Well, I walked away overnight, Andrew, and thought sleep on it and wake up today and see how I feel rather than remonstrate or get angry at the time. But there is no doubt the horse wasn't ridden to the instructions. There was no doubt that when you run sectional times the way he did, and he's supposed to be one of the best jockeys in Australia on rating a horse, and he was running times that were better than a good track on a heavy or to slow track. The fact that he didn't look us in the eye when he came back to the mounting yard, I think that all says it for itself. I said, I can't believe the stewards haven't done something already, and I will wait for what comes out of it. But yeah,
Jim obviously isn't here to give his side, and we'll try and
he's
do
not
that.
here to defend himself. That's fair. But Cliffy Brown's a very mild, mellowed sort of a fellow, and this morning I spoke to him, and he's very angry, very upset, very hurt, and I'm responding to that. And as the owner, I pay the bills. A jockey gets to ride another one. I don't get another one in the Caulfield Cup next week, Andrew. And it's fair to say I'm pretty cross, yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. The growing fallout from the Jim Cassidy Caulfield Cup ride on Inner Flurry on Saturday reached the steward's room this afternoon. Gerard Waitley is at VRC headquarters and has been covering the developing story all day. Gerard.
really during the day. Danny Rose, the owner of In a Flurry, demanded yesterday that stewards investigate Jim Cassidy's ride on the mare in the Caulfield Cup. The stewards had already done that on Saturday, and so you can imagine Jim Cassidy's reaction. He was none too impressed. Well, Cassidy offered to attend a meeting with the stewards and Rose here at VRC headquarters this afternoon in what was supposed to be a peace offering. Familiar and unpleasant territory for Jim Cassidy. His integrity under attack over an unsuccessful Caulfield Cup ride aboard In a Flurry.
I know that I've done nothing wrong. I didn't sleep that well last night because I was naturally a bit frustrated about it.
Accused by owner Danny Rose of failing to ride to instructions, Cassidy refuted claims he refused to look connections in the eye post-race and assured punters he did all he could to control the mare mid-race.
She was that wound up. Her sectional times were ludicrous, and I knew that, and you know that's why I was probably so unhappy and distraught myself when I come in after the race.
Very disenchanted with racing. I don't think anybody has really supported Cliffy Brown and the questions that have been asked.
Cassidy offered to attend a meeting with Rose and Chief Steward Des Gleeson at VRC headquarters late today to watch the Cup and repeat his explanation.
Jockeys will always be questioned. I think he's a fantastic rider. It was only that one ride that I'm disenchanted with. It happened to be on my horse.
I'm just getting awfully sick of my reputation being put on the line.
Now, Des Gleeson chaired this meeting, which went for the best part of an hour. They watched the video, the owner and the jockey, and gave their varying explanations. And then the stewards, well, they repeated their explanation that they were happy with Cassidy's event of circumstances, that the mare just wouldn't settle for him in the Caulfield Cup, and he was a victim of circumstance, charging to the front halfway through the race and would then run sixth. Well, Danny Rose, it would be fair to say he wasn't overly happy with the result he got at this meeting.
If it's not the right game for me and I'm not happy with results of things that were said in there, then it's time I withdrew my support for racing. I've had a good time, but to say that I'm happy with the results, I'm very unhappy. I don't think my opinion's at odds with Cliffy Brown, who's probably heartbroken at the moment and is thinking about his training future. Home with a new wife and baby and is wondering whether he wants to train again. I won't call it a kangaroo court. You couldn't do that, could you? Obviously there's a bit of conjecture there, but likewise for Jim Cassidy, he's in the same position. There's conjecture there for him as well. So I don't think any of us leave a winner out of this, not unless he backed the winner. So quite remarkable comments from Danny Rose, who will end his involvement in racing very shortly. He also took shots at the media, at the stewards in general, at Roy Higgins, who he named and had a crack at. It was quite a remarkable outburst at the end of what really, Quarters, has been, well, a bizarre set of circumstances, you could only describe it as.
Yeah, and pretty sad too. It's a hot day at the VRC. Thanks very much.
Side Park are the Sky ratings on the Tristark Stakes. Perno 100, Belle de Jour 97, Tickle My 97 and Calm Smitzer 97. The market, Belle de Jour 750, Tickle My 720, scratch 3, 4, 5. Miss Powerbird $12, scratch 7, Calm Smitzer at 6.60. Spice Doll 24, K-Mess at 19.50. Perno 3.90, scratch 15. Bell Ball $35, 21 Com Here and scratch number 18. The Tristark Stakes about 4 minutes from now. I still think they'll be pushing.
Tristark and they're away. And Miss Powerbird a little slow over on the outside, and KMS, Spice Doll and Hot Riff are the first three to bound out, and they lead from Come Here. Going forward just behind them, 900 metres, and KMS made play a length and a half to Hot Riff, Spice Doll. Belle de Jour with the camp on them fourth, followed by Calm Smitzer, 50 inside, and then Come Here. 2 lengths away is Perno, followed by Fet Gallant and Bell Ball. A length and a half to Miss Powerbird, and she's followed by Tickle My and 2 to Purple Groove. They're coming up the side now, and KMS in front by 3/4 of a length. KMS over Hot Riff and Spice Doll. 2 lengths to Belle de Jour, and they're followed Calm Smitzer. Come Here the outside, 1 to Perno. Further back is Tickle My, awkwardly placed on the inside as they came to the corner, and Purple Groove is last. Around the turn, KMS from Hot Riff, Spice Doll, Calm Smitzer, Belle de Jour. Perno getting to the outside. She's coming with a run, and Come Here the widest. Passing the 200. Camus from Hot Riff. Calm Smites a Spy Stole. Belle de Jour and Perno down the outside. Camus with Calm Smites are coming at her. Perno down the outside. Camus still has it. Perno's gobbling her up on the outside though. Camus grabbed by Perno. They hit the line. Perno a nose to Camus. Calm Smites are a length away third. And then Spy Stole. Tickle My, followed by Miss Power Bird and Fate Gallant. Next to finish Belle de Jour and Purple Groove, followed in by Hot Riff, well back as Bell Ball, and Come Here died on a run and finished.
Oh, isn't she a good mare? Perno, 430, 190. K-Mess, 490. Calm Smites are at 220. Quinell.
She's bred in the absolute purple, and she's now a group winner.
Yeah.
So she's going to be worth a fortune at stud, but let's hope she doesn't go too soon.
No. Keith?
Well, there's Perno. Karen McAvoy has won 6 of her 7. He's ridden her 6 of her 7 wins. So they have a marvellous understanding, and he needed that yesterday because he timed his run to perfection, and she's a terrific mare, most consistent.
12 minutes away, Scenic Peak is top rater, ahead of Flavour, Glenrowan and On Type. Now the markets, number 3 Flavour, 840, Make Mine Magic 770, On Type is $13, Scenic Peak 19, Sedation at 15, Super Impressive at 13, Dynamic Love 18, Glenrowan 10, Gold Class $13, Jade Prince 37, West Express you will be seeing live, so who's now at $9.30.
Given. Hello, yes. 5:32 Vets Advice, thank you. Please note number 12 Gold Class, a late scratching at 5:32 on Vets Advice. Bookmakers please rule a line. Betting announcement, they're set and racing in the last. And soon after the jump, Super Impressive and Darabia settled towards the tail. Dynamic Love, Scenic Peak bounded out well. And away fast too in the early stages is Jade Prince in the all whites. 1.5 to the grey, Arabia, who's caught out wide. Flavour the Rail from Make Mine Magic. And also in that bunch of horses, Super Impressive on the outside. 1.5 then to Glenrowan. Thong Classic in the tail end of the field in company with Sedation and West Express on the outside. 700 left to go at Scenic Peak narrowly. From Jade Prince on the outside, Scott Seaman looking for his 4th of the day. Inspires up there in 3rd placing. 2 lengths Dynamic Love, who's on the inside of Arabia. 1.5 to Flavour, and they're followed by Make Mine Magic. Trailed by on the outside On Type and Super Impressive, and then Sedation, Glenrowan, Thong Classic giving them a good start, and West Express pulled up as they cornered now. And Inspire up on the outside, and Jade Prince cornering from Arabia. Super Impressive is coming, and Scenic Peak stuck to the inside. Passing the 200, Inspire dash to the lead. Flavour's after it. Scenic Peak running a good race on the inside. Inspire from Flavour. Super Impressive lifting. It's Flavour grabbing the lead from Inspire. 50 to go. Flavour just in front. Flavour just won it from Inspire, I'd say. Photo for 3rd. Make Mine Magic came through in the centre. Scenic Peak on the inside and Super Impressive out wide. Then Thong Classic only got going in the last little bit. Followed by Glenrowan, and then came Jade Prince, ran a cheeky one to the last little bit. Followed further back by Arabia, and then Dynamic Love and Sedation towards the tail of the field. One more On Type as the second last to go over the line, and West...
Well, what an old marvel he is, eh, Flavour? An 8-year-old, that was his 60th race start, his 14th win. He's won well over $1.5 million in prize money. It's called Ice Cream Sunday.
And so thrilled was John Hawkes by the performance of Flavour yesterday, Keith, that he decided to lift his national media ban.
Yeah, old Chatterbox Hawkes is back. He's lifted the ban. He's still got a couple on the blacklist. But Darren Beedman...
Cups are always even. There's always many chances. But if he can live up to the touch the groom form, he's going to be there, you'd think, maybe with that.
Certainly can. You know, hopefully the way these cups can be run, they change from year to year, and all you need is a little bit of luck.
And, well, you went from not having a Melbourne Cup ride to now having one, it looks like. Ethereal confirmed this morning, probably going to the Melbourne Cup.
I haven't heard that she's confirmed, but I know that they're thinking...
Reenact Prophet's Kiss and El Tiro already have confirmed as starters in the Melbourne Cup if they decide to go that way. But most of them up reasonably. Guilty Verdict alongside are out fairly. Reenactors snagged over their heels with Fra Magic early. Mr. Prudence getting back too. And Cries the Mirage first out with May the Horse Be With You. Going forward, Karazi with El Tiro wider out. and they're trailed by Frenzel Rail. 2 Guilty Verdict tries to do it all, and she leads about a neck. Karazi, a length and a half away in third place in Cries the Mirage with Frenzel Rom. Off and running Prince of Luca around the outside of May the Horse Be With You, and then Kunai's Choice, Guilty Verdict. Over on the inside is Scrumptious and Crown Mahal together, and then came Yuppie, Bro Rama Star, Prophet's Kiss, Reenact. Well back as Touch the Groom, he's second or third last on the inside from Fra Magic, and Mr. Prudent as last as they came to the turn now. And it's Altero to the turn now, and it's Altero narrowly. Prince of Luca had gone up to have a crack at her, coming around the turn with Karazi in the centre. May the Horse Be With You right behind them with Cries the Mirage, the rail. And as they corner next is Kunai's Choice, Frenzel Rom, Crown Mahal, Guilty Verdict and Yuppie. Well in the straight, and Karazi's gone to the lead now over Altero, and May the Horse Be With You's running on from Prince of Luca. Karazi in front, 150 to go. May the Horse Be With You's coming hard. May the Horse Be With You got to Karazi and Altero, and then Scrumptious. May the Horse Be With You. Karazi kicked on the inside. Oh, close between them. Karazi and May the Horse Be With You ahead, bobbing finish, and Scrumptious third. Then came Frenzel Rom, and just behind these, Fra Magic made a lot of ground from Bro Rama Star. Crown Mahal over on the inside, followed by Yuppie, Mr. Prudent out wide with Reenact and Guilty Verdict. 12 is kicked and won on the inside, Karazi, Glenn Boss. Karazi has won at number 12, Glenn Boss, David Hall. Kick.
I think David Hall, I think, Andrew, but look, he's a real star, this horse, and he keeps fighting, so it's a great win.
He promised to do this because he... On the inside, Karazi, Glenn Boss. Karazi has won at number 12, Glenn Boss, David Hall. Kick.
I think David Hall, I think, Andrew, but look, he's a real star, this horse, and